Good afternoon. Welcome to the June 2nd, 2025 meeting of the Atlanta City Council. My name is Dustin Hillis, President Pro Tem of the City Council. President Shipman is out today, so I will be presiding over this meeting. Clerk, please call the roll.
Good afternoon, Council President Pro Tem. We have Councilmember Michael Julian Bond.
Here.
We have Councilmember Matt Westmoreland, Post 2 at large.
Here.
Councilmember Ishay Collins, Post 3 at large. Councilmember Jason H. Winston, District 1.
Here.
Councilmember Amir Faroki, District 2.
Here.
Councilmember Byron D. Amos, District 3. Councilmember Jason Dozer, District 4.
Here.
Councilmember Liliana Bakhtiari, District 5. Here. Councilmember Alex Wan, District 6. Councilmember Howard Shook, District 7. Councilmember Mary Norwood, District 8. Council President Pro Tem Dustin Hillis.
Present.
Councilmember Andrew L. Boone, District 10. Present. Councilmember Marcy Kohler Overstreet, District 11. Councilmember Antonia Lewis, District 12. Mr. Council President Pro Tem, we do have a quorum of members present.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. I'll now entertain a motion to adopt the agenda. Moved by Councilmember Wan, second by Councilmember Shook. This can be addressed by unanimous consent. Madam Clerk, please sound the count of motion to adopt the agenda.
13 yeas, 0 nays.
Thank you. I will now entertain any statements or requests from council members for a moment of silence, remembrance. All right, none, but for those unnamed, we will have a brief moment of silence. Thank you. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now moving on to our proclamations. First up, Councilmember Bond, you're recognized to present a proclamation for Public Safety Awareness Month 2025. And if those participating in that proclamation will please join us on the dais.
Thank you, Mr. President Pro Tem, and as our public safety professionals make their way, June is Public Safety Awareness Month, and it is my privilege really to be here to recognize these men and women who keep us all safe here in the city of Atlanta. Yeah, we can balance out. You don't have to all go on this. Yeah.
Social media person gonna stay behind you if you want to go anywhere. La de social media de nosotros, ella se va a quedar de este lado y so ella puede igual ayudar con fotos.
Who is our highest ranking officer?
But I got my guys running.
Who is? Oh, okay, Jerry.
How are you doing, sir?
So I'll just formally make it to you. Make sure everybody gets a pen. But we need more, so call the office. Well, we're here today to recognize and acknowledge Public Safety Awareness Month. And as citizens of our great city, really of our country, as we move around, we need to make sure that we're aware of our surroundings, that we're maintaining the safety protocols for our homes and our businesses and greater community. But sometimes there are those who are obviously seen in the role of public safety, and there are many others who are not seen. And I actually have a very personal debt to the Atlanta Fire Rescue Department because they've actually saved my life twice. Once when I was a baby, when my brother set the back porch of our house on fire. And then again, when I had a episode where I couldn't capture my breath. I had a respiratory issue just some 9 years ago. It was the Atlanta Fire Rescue Department at Station 1 that came and made sure that I'm here to do what I'm doing now then. And of course, I had the opportunity to work in public safety in the Department of Corrections, working with APD, working with 911, and making sure that our communities are safe. So I have a great affinity for those who serve in this vein. And I appreciate Mr. DeLoach helping us organize to recognize these individuals. But I have a proclamation, and I will read it in pertinent part, Mr. President Pro Tem, in recognition of Safety Awareness Month 2025. Whereas the Atlanta City Council is pleased to join Mayor Andre Dickens in recognizing the month of June as Safety Awareness Month in the city of Atlanta. Whereas each year we commit ourselves to identifying what each of us can do to ensure the safety of our citizens, our employees, and visitors in our home, work, and on the road. And whereas the Department of Finance Office of Enterprise Risk Management takes leadership to ensure the reduction of those losses and exposures by focusing on improving human behaviors and to minimize the financial burden incurred by our citizens and employees due to accidental loss from personal injury, property damage, and etc. Now, therefore, we, the members of the Atlanta City Council, on behalf of the citizens of the city of Atlanta, hereby proclaim this day in recognition of Safety Awareness Month, June 2025. I have set my hand and have caused the seal of the city of Atlanta to be hereunto affixed. Congratulations, all of you. All right, Mr. DeLoach.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jerry L. DeLoach. I am the Chief Risk Officer for the City of Atlanta in the Office of Enterprise Risk Management. One of the many responsibilities is to manage the safety program. Councilmember Bond, on behalf of the employees in the Office of Enterprise Risk Management and all of the departmental coordinators, I gladly accept this proclamation as it highlights and emphasizes the importance of safety in the City of Atlanta. The safety program consists of three primary functions. The first one is the Workers' Compensation Program, which is managed by L'Oreal Driscoll. She is supported by workers' comp liaisons in each department, and they are on stage with us. The second component of our program is the Driver Risk Management System. This program is currently being co-managed by myself and Kathy Lloyd. And last component is the Risk Management Executive Committee, which is also being managed by me at this time. We are joined on the stage by program managers from the Driver Risk Management Program, the Workers' Comp liaisons, and the members of the Risk Management Executive Committee. The activities planned for June 2025 include the following. It kicked off on May 29th with an active mass casualty event. This was coordinated and sponsored by the Department of Parks and Recreation. On June 11th, 2025, Department of Watershed Management will sponsor a safety expo at the Hemp Hill facility. The event will last from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., and there will be vendors who focus on safety, and food free will be available. Finally, on June 26th, the Enterprise Risk Management will host the Safety Awards brunch from 11 to 2 in the Old Council Chambers. This is a ticketed event. I want to say thank you to all of the department's representatives for each component of the safety program, and to their commissioners for the unwavering support. I also want to say thank you to the leadership of the Finance Department, CFO Bala, Deputy CFO Carr, and in her absence, former Deputy CFO Tina Wilson. To the members of the Atlanta City Council, President of the Council, and Mayor Andre Dickens and Chief Operating Officer LaShondra Burks, we say thank you for this opportunity for highlighting the importance of safety for the City of Atlanta employees. Thank you. CFO Bala's not here yet.
Well, since CFO Bala is not quite present, we'll go ahead and move for what Jim Manis used to say is the council's best act, is to take a picture. So if everybody would move up, that's a joke. So. You got the proclamation? Everybody just smart you up. Right. You can't
You're short, get up front. I'm tall, I'm gonna be in the position. Yeah. Jump on, please. Thank you. Thank you.
You can go out on both sides.
Thank you very much. All right. Either way. Either way. I'm going to be on this side. All right. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I grabbed more.
All right, at this time, we'll move forward with our second proclamation. I'd like to welcome Councilmember Andrea Boone in recognition of the Georgia Association of Paralegals. If, everyone in the second proclamation for our paralegals, please join us on the dais.
Will everyone here to recognize the Georgia Association of Paralegals please come forward? I am joined today by the Chief of Staff to President Doug Shipman, Mr. Aaron Johnson, if you would please come. Congratulations, congratulations. They parking. Okay, okay. Today, we are joined with Cynthia Bynum, who is representing the Georgia Association of Paralegals. She is the President Executive Director. Whereas paralegals are professionals qualified through education, training, or work experience to perform substantive legal work requiring proficient knowledge of legal concepts that are customarily but not exclusively performed by a lawyer. Whereas, working under the guidance of an attorney, paralegals improve the management of cases, contribute sustainability to the quality of legal services throughout the city of Atlanta, and reduce legal costs to the public. And whereas excellence, education, and integrity are the noteworthy characteristics of paralegals, and those in Atlanta uphold the highest standards of professionalism. And whereas the observance of paralegal work and Paralegal Week provides an opportunity for Atlantans to recognize paralegals throughout the city for their efforts to help our legal system perform at the highest level of efficiency. And whereas the city of Atlanta recognizes the invaluable contribution these devoted professionals make to the practice of law in our municipality. Now therefore be it proclaimed that we, the members of the Atlanta City Council, on behalf of the Atlanta residents, do hereby declare June 8th through 14th as Paralegal Week in the city of Atlanta, Georgia. Hold it. Hold it, folks. Look at me. Okay. And now we will have a response from Aaron Johnson from President Doug Shipman's office, Chief of Staff.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Councilwoman Boone, for standing in the president's stead for this phenomenal proclamation. Cynthia, I don't know if you know, I was actually a paralegal major when I was in college. Really? And somehow I got into this political thing and it just wouldn't go away. It worked out like that. But congratulations on behalf of Council President Shipman to you and all the paralegals around that do such a phenomenal job working for lawyers and for others. Thank you. All right.
Cynthia, please give us remarks at this time.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you to Doug Shipman, the president, for sponsoring us, and to Councilwoman Boone. Thank you all, and the Chief of Staff, we thank you. We're grateful for this proclamation. As you can imagine, paralegals work very hard. My name is Cynthia Bynum. I'm the executive director. Our president recently took a role with the solicitor's office in Gwinnett County, and our paralegals and our board and our members, they work really hard. And those who are not even members of GAP, which is the Georgia Association of Paralegals, we want to recognize all paralegals in the city of Atlanta who not only work for municipalities and government agencies, but the private practice of law, corporations. And so we are just grateful for their service. And so we do have Georgia Paralegal Week that we'll be celebrating starting on the 8th, which is this Sunday. We're just visit us online. I won't go through our activities, but gaparalegal.org. And so we're just happy to serve the city of Atlanta, and we thank you for this proclamation. And lastly, we are grateful to the mayor's office because this year will be the first year that GAP is actually a part of his summer youth employment program. So we're very much looking forward to that. We're going to be at the State Bar of Georgia, and we have the support of the legal community. So thank you all for this proclamation.
Congratulations. And now we will have a photo with Ms. Cynthia and all members of the Atlanta City Council. Thank you.
All right, at this time, I will welcome back Councilmember Michael Julian Bond in recognition of the 2025 National Puerto Rican Day Parade honoring the city of Atlanta. If you're part of this proclamation, please come join us up on the dais.
Where would you like us?
No, right here is fine.
Right, there's a group of us, so we're just going.
Yeah, just,
We
we
shall
just
flank
balance,
you.
yeah, we'll just balance out.
Thank you. Very much.
Oh, you come up here.
No, you know. I'm a doctor.
Oh, yeah, yeah, come on up.
Mira, Puerto Ricans, we're not in Puerto Rico, come on. Viene social. Vente, Victor. Okay,
Is that everybody?
that is everyone.
Okay. Oh, we can always use more. Always use more. Well, I want to say good afternoon to everyone. We are here to recognize not only members of our great Puerto Rican community here in the Atlanta metropolitan area, but we're actually giving them a little bit of a send-off to the National Puerto Rican Day Parade in New York, which will take place on June the 8th. And working in cooperation with the Atlanta Convention and Visitors Bureau, we are here to give this recognition because of the vitality and substantial growth in the Puerto Rican community inside of the city of Atlanta's limits proper and within the metropolitan area. And so I am pleased to have a proclamation recognizing these events on behalf of the City Council. And I will read the proclamation in pertinent part, recognizing 2025 National Puerto Rican Day Parade honoring the city of Atlanta. Whereas the National Puerto Rican Day Parade, founded in 1958, has become the largest and most significant celebration of Puerto Rican cultural heritage and accomplishment in the United States, serving as a national platform for unity, pride, and advocacy within the Puerto Rican community. And whereas in its 68th year, the National Puerto Rican Day Parade continues to honor the history of Puerto Rican self-determination and cultural representation, having originated in New York City as a response to the need of visibility, equity, self-expression among Puerto Rican during the 1950s. And whereas under the guiding motto, Un pueblo, muchas voces, one people, many voices, the National Puerto Rican Day Parade upholds its mission of promoting arts, education, literature, and civic engagement. All areas in the Puerto Rican community of Atlanta is actively involved and deeply invested. And whereas the Puerto Rican community in Atlanta has grown significantly since the 1990s and is estimated to be more than 45,000 residents, placing among the top 20 Puerto Rican populations in U.S. cities. Whereas the vibrant and dynamic community contributes significantly to Atlanta's economic development, civic leadership, cultural vibrancy, and social fabric, exemplifying the 2025 parade theme,
Plantando bandera.
Plantando Bandera, by establishing deep roots in the city and surrounding areas with enriching every facet of its collective life. And whereas the National Puerto Rican Day Parade Board of Directors has chosen to honor the city of Atlanta, Georgia, and its Puerto Rican community as the official stateside honoree during the 2025 National Puerto Rican Day Parade on Fifth Avenue in New York City on June the 8th, 2025 a prestigious recognition of the community's achievements, contributions, and enduring legacy. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that we, the members of Atlanta City Council, on behalf of the citizens of the city of Atlanta, hereby proclaim this day in recognition of honoring the National Puerto Rican Day Parade Committee, honoring the city of Atlanta. In witness thereof, I have set my hand and have caused the seal of the city of Atlanta to be hereunto affixed. Congratulations, Ms. Rodriguez. Hold this up real quick. Now I'm going to I want to ask, are there any members of the council that would like to say a word? Anybody? Okay. Not hearing any, I'm going to ask Ms. Rodriguez, who is not only an Atlanta resident, but is the national chair of the National Puerto Rican Day Parade. Ms. Rodriguez.
Yes. So, first of all, thank you so much, Councilman Bond, for this honor. I'm a little ashamed to say this is the first time I've been in City Hall, but I guess I haven't gotten into any good trouble yet. So this is my first opportunity to get into good trouble. I'd like to present you with this T-shirt for you, Boricuas in Atlanta, and I hope that you'll wear it with pride, even if you wear it inside the home.
Thank you.
So thank you.
Oh, you want me to step?
Yeah.
Okay.
T-shirt with him.
Okay.
We have to listen to Councilwoman Bowman.
There you go.
I just want to explain my comment about where he wears it inside the home. He may not be a T-shirt kind of guy. So I just want to thank all of you and recognize the people who are with me today. I want to first just say a tremendous thank you to the Puerto Rican Atlanta Steering Committee. I'm here with Raul Thomas. Thank you so much. From the Marietta New Square, Theater on the Square, Dr. Natalie Hernandez, who's an associate professor at Morehouse. And there are other people that unfortunately could not be with us, Joel Alvarado, State Senator Jason Esteves, and former Representative Pedro Marin, who all worked to bring this together. And then a very great actress, Lorraine Reyes Rodriguez, who's on vacation with her family, but is on Sweet Magnolias. And so we also have here a tremendous family of artists and culinary experts and comedians, and just a tremendous group of people who represent the Puerto Rican community, as well as some people who are in our community service and in our social sector. Will Perez, who's the chair of La Amistad, Gigi Pedraza, who is just, Puerto Rican through sisterhood and also does have Puerto Rican daughters. So, and she runs the Latino Community Fund of Georgia. And can you believe it? I helped name it and I'm like stumbling. It's been a while. And then the deepest appreciation to the Atlanta Convention and Visitors Bureau, to Joanne Hayden Miller and to Daniela Cintron for saying presente when we said, can you please help us support? I know I'm talking long, but I have to say this. People came to Atlanta a lot earlier than I did. They've been here for 30, 40 years, making contributions, growing their families here, considering this to be home and to being a welcoming city and hopefully a welcoming state. We are immersed in the fabric of Atlanta and of this state. As Councilman Bond says, making contributions all across all different walks of life, whether it is arts and entertainment, whether it is the culinary art, but also in business, helping the economy, being part of civil society, serving on philanthropic boards, and clearly serving as elected officials as well, wanting to build this great state and this great city. For me personally, I came here to work for the Coca-Cola Company. I looked for my community because I was looking for that cultural relevancy, and I found it here, so much so that my family continues to come to the state and to Atlanta. Now I can't move. I'm originally from New York, but it is a wonderful place to live and to work, and it is a wonderful place to call home. And one of the things that I care most about is that these individuals here are so accomplished and represent us so well. But when we go into New York, we will make sure that we represent Atlanta and the state of Georgia well. So thank you. Thank you. That's it.
That's it?
You wanted more?
We could always use more.
What's much more?
All right, but we will step up and take a photo here, and then as we exit, we'll take one in front of the seal outside the chamber. You want to say anything?
Oh, no.
You sure?
No, cannot match that.
Right here. 1, 2, 3. Again.
Thank you, Council President Shipman.
Good to see you, Annie. Because you're with yes, that's all. Okay, yes, I'm with Joanne. Yep, everybody knows Joanne. See you, Joanne. Thank you all so much for everything.
Thank you.
It's so good to see you.
Thank you so much.
All right, at this time, we'll move on to our public comments, remarks by the public. First up is Brother Anthony Muhammad. Brother Muhammad, you have 8 minutes due to dedicated time.
I am Brother Anthony Muhammad, a spiritual, soulful being. I come here to talk about ACON, Atlanta Commission on Women. Here in Atlanta, we don't recognize we are first and foremost energetic. We're energy. We're 99% energy, like electricity. We should be one energy, represent the holistic evaluation of all humanity for the benefit of everyone to have their needs being provided for. We live in a society called capitalism. Capitalism only have the top 1% controlling 90% of the wealth. And we who are legislators, you're supposed to represent your districts. You're supposed to represent your community. You're supposed to represent your jurisdiction. I come down here and talk about things that have been going on in my community for over 30 years. We have an ACON. Started with Miss Shirley Franklin in 1994. What do ACON stand for? Atlanta Commission on Women. You got women and children and seniors living on the street. You got women and children look like you, Mr. Dozier, Winston, the dog, anti-matter people, right here in Atlanta. Since Martin Luther King told us before he got his brain blown out in 1968, I think I've taken my people in a house that is burning down. Look what's been happening since the 68. You had Jesse Jackson in 84, ran for president. Where we are today? You had Mr. Clinton, Democrat, president. Bush came in. His daddy didn't get the second term. But why is I'm saying? It appears to me you Democrats, especially the ones that look like me, don't want to recognize that we are energy. We're the masculine and feminine energy. That's in all of us. That's in you, that's in me. We have attributes of the right side of the brain, the left side of the brain. We're supposed to have the real to want to visualize. You want to daydream. You want to imagine, have imagination about how things are, how things can be. You want to have mathematical equations. You want to have the knowledge of this education you take. But if you have been given a system that is contrary to nature, and what is I'm saying contrary to nature? We are dog people represented by dog. This brother go all the way back to the Atlantis. His father ruled, they say, 56,000 years. He ruled 16,000. But what is it? He got emerald tablets of Thor, the secret to achieving immortality. We have information our ancestors are now has been awakened in some of us of different hue. Caucasians speaking up for truth today. Asians speaking up for truth today. Indians speaking up for truth today. Even in Russia, it is said, the Hebrew Israelites, we got pictures of the original peoples. We got pictures of like Madonna, the picture of you call Christ, the picture of the one you call a Mary. But you got Germany, Mr. Trump, ancestors Germany. But what did they say? We got pictures representing the Hebrew Israelites, the real people that represent the history of this country. They were 360 degrees, always represent good, always spoke the truth, always gave transparency. But why isn't that we cannot recognize who we are? This is what we call the tree of life. Many pictures of the tree of life ain't got nothing to do with somebody in some garden. A bad tree against a good tree. This is the energy you are. You are being elevated. Always raise yourself up to consciousness of good. Anything that lowers you, you're taking away from your foundation that you are as a person. When I come down here and talk about this thing, Miss Overstreet, about the street, talk about ACON, I've been doing this ever since 2010. I came down here when Miss Shirley Frank was first in his office. But I didn't ever speak out that much. I was going to Georgia State over there. But then as I continue to watch how y'all continue not to want to do for the people, we start closing down the projects, closing down the places that people had housing that they could afford. They never had some of the best of jobs, Mr. Dozier, but they would work on these jobs and get some money to buy a house. 30, 40 years later, you got to pay for it. And now, in 2025, you got gentrification. You live in a certain zip code, we're going to control all that. You all do that. Y'all let that happen. Y'all do that. You legislate it. I just found out, Miss Overstreet, that a lot of times when we talk about the street, Fairbanks and Terrell Road, when we talk about them paving it, haven't been paid since 1994, because they paid my part in 2010, but the rest of it didn't. But I find out that sometimes the mayor will get legislation that you may propose, because I have a legislation with Mr. Shook and Ms. Norwood from Ms. Keisha Lance Bottom was here, that they said, we're going to pay yours in 2010, and Mr. Martin said, Brother Muhammad, we're going to finish that before we leave. And he died, and you still didn't finish it. But I find out that the mayor or whoever's in that position may say, we want to prioritize this over here in Buckhead. So we got some people that say they're going to put some money with it, and they'll help finance. That's unfair. I talked to your law office, your Atlanta attorney, Mr. Winston. I said, look, my 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment are being violated. I'm supposed to be treated with the same rights and justice, Mr. Winston, as any other persons that are Caucasian. The 1981 special section specified that what you have in government or private interest should be given to those American descendants of slaves. But why can't I get that from y'all? I've been coming out here for 30 years, living in Atlanta. I was here when Maynard Jackson was here. Do you help me? But I wasn't talking enough in my community. I was scared like the rest of them were. I'm gonna stay in my zone. But now I find that the zone will keep us in this problem of not making sure, Ms. Bacteria, we got justice for our people, Mr. Westmoreland. But I'm gonna ask you before I get ready to close, to listen to what it said right here. My soul honors your soul. Honor the place in you where the entire universe resides. I honor the light, the love, the truth, the beauty and peace within you, because it's also within me. In sharing these things, we are one. In sharing these things, we are the same. In sharing these things, we are united. But if you choose not to unite with truth, justice, and equality, you're going to be like P. Diddy. You're going to be like T.D. Jakes. Be like the former President Hussein Obama. They're finding that they all been working together to keep information from the masses. And the masses continue to suffer, called a certain class, fraternity, sorority, looking out for their own. I greet you as I did not. Assalamu alaikum. Ashe, Ashe. Mayor, Metro Hotel.
Ms. Honoree Jordan.
Give honor to the Spirit of God, everyone that's here. Enter ye in at the straight gate. For wide is the gate, and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction. And many there be which go in thereat. Matthew 7, chapter 13, verse. Enter ye in at the straight gate. Narrow means that one must come through the narrow gate in order to reach the path that leads to eternal life. James Swift asked for death because he lacked the desire to be a Christ-like husband. And I will bless him that blessed thee, and I will curse him that curseth thee. And in thee shall all families of the earth be blessed. Genesis 12 and 3. Let your will be fulfilled in me, and stop the works of Satan against the will of God for my life. When you seek to kill, you ask to be killed. Because straight is the gate, and narrow is the way which leadeth to life, and few that be that find it. St. Matthew 7, chapter 14, verse. Though many are on the broad way that leadeth to destruction, eternal separation from God, The gate that leads to life is narrow. That few that be that find it. Jesus' word created the income, not yours or mine. I'm just a tool of Christ. And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. St. John 8, chapter 32nd verse. They will not be sinless, but blameless, free from the power of sin. The truth will set you free, not a lie. You lied about Christ's work, giving credit to yourselves. You went against the word that created the income. I'm just a vessel of Christ to lead people for protection, what Christ got for you. Want to use me for his glory, not man's glory. Man's glory is vain, but Christ's glory gives us blessing that we need.
Next is Dana Thompson.
Good afternoon. My name is Dana Thompson. I'm the Advocacy Director for the American Lung Association in Georgia. Thank you for this opportunity. The American Lung Association strongly supports the City of Atlanta's building code to add a new section for roofing reflectance standards to reduce heat through the promotion of cool roofs. These cost-effective cool roofs will reduce urban heat, reduce air pollution, including ozone, and protect the health for all of Atlanta residents, especially its most vulnerable, including the young, elderly, and those with lung disease. The American Lung Association is the oldest voluntary public health association in the United States, representing more than 34 million individuals living with lung disease. The Lung Association is the leading organization working to save lives by improving lung health and preventing lung disease through research, education, and advocacy. The Lung Association's 2025 State of the Air report found that Atlanta metro area ranked 48th worst for high ozone days. Ground level ozone pollution, also known as smog, forms when other pollutants react in the presence of heat and sunlight. More heat often means more ozone. This pollutant causes swelling and irritation of the lungs. Immediate irritation can cause wheezing and coughing and shortness of breath. With repeated exposure, ozone can permanently damage lung cells. For those dealing with chronic lung disease like asthma or COPD, heat and smog may trigger an asthma attack, severe COPD symptoms, or lead to a lung infection. Concentration of dark materials within cities creates an urban heat island. It's estimated to be up to 10 degrees hotter than areas outside of the city, and some neighborhoods can be up to 14 degrees hotter than others within the city. Cool roofs are light-colored roofs that reflect most heat, unlike conventional dark-colored roofs. Cool roofs reflect more than 50% of solar radiation compared to traditional dark roofs, which reflect only about 15 to 20%. Dark surfaces like roads, parking lots, and roofs do not reflect the sun. Instead, they absorb the sunlight.
Thank you. Your time has expired.
Thank you. I encourage you to support this.
Next is Amber Burks. Due to donated time, you'll have 4 minutes.
Good afternoon, council members. My name is Amber Burks. It's a pleasure and honor to meet with you today. I am here as a representative of the new Aviary Park Townhome community in Southwest Atlanta, located off Greenbrier Parkway. I'd like to acknowledge Councilwoman Overstreet of District 11, my councilwoman, fellow Southwest Atlanta native, and fellow alum of the illustrious Benjamin E. Mays High School. I'm here to hold you and the city accountable as representatives and servants of Southwest Atlanta. In July 2022, the City of Atlanta ratified Greenbrier SPI 20, which specifies that gas stations are prohibited from being built along Greenbrier Parkway. Despite this new legislation, planning issued a permit for the construction of a gas station in that very area 1 month later in August of 2022. When citizens reached out, you maintained this was legal. You doubled down on allowing the gas station to be built near a senior home and daycare facility, endangering our most vulnerable because no one wanted to admit to their mistake. Kieta Holmes, director of the Office of Zoning and Development, told us verbatim to get involved would not be good stewardship of the city's resources. I ask you, Councilwoman, how is it not good use of the city's resources to correct a mistake the city made? Greenbrier SPI 20 is your law. We want you to follow the law to protect citizens. Our community deserves better. You were quick to tell us nothing could be done in the beginning, and now that you've acknowledged the error and there's work to be done, you drag your feet. I encourage you, Councilwoman, not to turn your back on Southwest Atlanta, on your home. I understand you're running for presidency of Atlanta City Council. Your constituents trust you to lead. Show us you can. We urge you to use your power and influence to uphold Greenbrier SPI 20. Stop the gas station from being built. On November 4th, as we make our way to the polls, your constituents will remember either your passivity or your active effort as a leader. I hope you show us that you deserve our continued support. Councilwoman Overstreet, are you with us in this fight? Thank you for your time.
Councilmember Overstreet, you're recognized.
Thank you, Pro Tem President. So I never said that nothing could be done. I'm actually on camera on the news stating that I thought I thought also that the gas station was permitted in error. I actually stood with you, Sherry Williams, when we spoke about that. So I never said that I don't agree with the community. I actually said I was standing with the community.
Yes.
So what do you mean that I'm?
Ms. Burke, sorry, this is not a back and forth. Ms. Overstreet is allowed to respond to you,
Yeah,
and then we'll move on to the next public commenter.
I actually stood out with the community about that gas station and spoke about SPI 20. So I don't know what you mean when you're saying I'm not standing for the community, because that didn't happen. I'm ready to listen.
I initially reached out to you prior to you coming out to the gas station, and if you would allow me a moment to find the email, I can.
So are you talking about before I came out to speak?
Yes,
Okay,
before you
so
came
that
out.
was what I was told. I was told just what you were told from both the law department as well as city planning. And when I did more research on my own about the dates of when the SPI was passed and when the actual contract was pulled, because that was brought to my attention as well, I pulled that information and then I came out to the community to talk about where we stood then. So I have been standing with the community, for sure.
All right, thank you, Ms. Overstreet. Thank you, Ms. Burks. Next up will be Marcus Lamar.
Good afternoon, council members and my fellow Atlantans. I stand before you today as a son of Kirkwood on the east side. And I'm here because Legacy Atlanta is back in place and the future is now. And we need your leadership to make this happen. Council members, you have a choice to make today. A $33.3 million budget deficit, the second highest since 2010, sits on your desk. The current administration has given you excuses. I'm giving you solutions. President Jimmy Carter once said, "We must adjust to changing times and still hold to unchanging principles." This is exactly what Atlanta needs right now. You can continue down the failing path, or you can adjust or you can join me in transforming Atlanta. Our seniors in your districts are struggling. Our water infrastructure is crumbling. $2 billion needed, and you know it. The corruption scandals has embarrassed every one of you who truly cares about this city. But here's what I'm offering you, council members: partnership in greatness. The Peachtree Summit Innovation Hub will generate $10 to $15 million annually, money that will flow directly back to the budget in your communities. This is your moment. You, as being the council, have a chance to innovate over stagnation. You can be the leaders who says yes to transparency, yes to revenue generation, and yes to candidates who want to make you look like champions to your communities. I'm not asking for your endorsement. No, no, no. I'm offering you the opportunity to be a part of Atlanta's greatest comeback story. The future is now, council member, and I'm going to reclaim your time with 15 minutes back to you. Thank you.
Next is Nadir Panjwani.
My name is Nadir Panjwani, and I own multiple units in the landmark communities. I spoke to you in April 2025 meeting. I stated that Yali Liu and Alexandra Betancourt harassed and abused elderly residents and instituted illegal fines. I want to clear that I did not intend to imply, though, there was physical abuse of elderly residents, if there was any criminal conduct related to elderly residents or the fines. To the extent I implied that I want to retract such statements, though I would hope that the body and licensors would not have reached such a conclusion anyway. That said, I have recently requested to inspect all financial records of the landmark HOA per bylaws and declaration of the HOA. I was not allowed to inspect the full records as requested and as I am entitled to do. I'm very concerned with the governance of the landmark HOA, and I cannot get the access to the financial records that would show whether there was self-dealing in the spending of HOA money. I suspect there is, but I'm not able to get access to these financial records. I request the City Council to get access to the landmark HOA financial records and see if anything improper was done. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Bakhtiari, you may respond.
Thank you, President Pro Tem. I'll be quick. Thank you so much, Mr. Panjwani, for coming and speaking about the landmark. I'm talking to you. Yes. Hello. Hi. Your rep. I was saying thank you for coming and speaking. I've been saying on top of this, they need to be held accountable. When it comes to the HOA, and I've communicated this to your other constituents, and you've written me, please, with HOA, we are preempted at the city. I'm doing everything I can from a city level, but please also help me engage your state representatives. Mr. Philalei and Senator, House Representative Philalei and Senator Nan Orrock. I will keep reaching out to them, but on HOAs, we're preempted by the state. So we need to work together on that one. And I'll continue to push, but please help me if you can. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Bakhtiari. Kevin Bacon.
They told me to stop digging, but I can't help it. This is one nation under God. If people turn to God instead of government, then we can fix a lot of the problems that are going on. And recently, Senator Ossoff, perhaps the most communist woke senator in Georgia history, recently called on the FBI to investigate a campaign of hate targeting minorities. some text messages telling people to go pick cotton. That's terrible. All right? I don't condone that. All right? That's unacceptable. It's hate. Okay. But what about the other visible hate campaign? All these hate messages posted throughout the city targeting individuals on the right, your opponents, such as these at the Cross Street Bridge. Kill Elon. Kill that guy. Yeah. Is this acceptable too? To be posted all over the city? The bridge is filled with nothing but this. It's very visible, and I must be crazy to be upset about this. But this is a free country, and I think the last I checked, I think people of the state of Georgia like this guy and not that other lady. Oh, if it was that lady and we had that lady's name, Chameleon, if her name saying kill Chameleon, I don't think it would be acceptable. I think it would be erased in it won't even go up. So let's treat these like we would treat Chameleon, all right?
Chet Tisdale, due to donated time, you have 6 minutes.
Thank you. I stand here before you today. I'm an environmental lawyer. I'm a member of the Tree Conservation Commission. For 39 years, I represented developers and other corporations on environmental issues. And I have a plan for this city council to pass a single amendment to the existing tree protection ordinance to add a tree preservation standard. What will that do? The tree preservation standard will, number one, give landowners and developers valuable rights to build what they want to build in their buildable area, to tear down the trees that they want to tear down, and to save other trees. Those are very valuable rights, and I don't believe that some developers know that they don't have them right now. An appeal to the Tree Commission can frustrate a developer's plans to develop. I've seen it happen. I've been a part of it. So number one, we protect the developers and the landowners by granting them valuable rights to build and remove trees that need to be cut. And the second thing we do is we will end clear cutting of trees in Atlanta on those single-family residential lots. Clear cutting is killing Atlanta's trees. All of us know this, and we have to stop it. And this council has the power to do so this month to enact a landmark tree protection law that will be used by other jurisdictions as a model. You have that power. I speak of a tree preservation standard. We negotiated over 4 years with the planning department, the citizens group, I'm a member of that, Catherine Kolb, Howard Cashman, Craig Pendergrass, others, the Tree Next Door, Trees Atlanta, Park Pride, developers were with us from the very beginning, and we negotiated that. That tree preservation standard was put into the late 24 to early 25 TPO. It was approved by the law department. It was vetted. It was sent to the NPUs. It is a very good balanced tree preservation standard. It is what Atlanta needs. I'm going to come back to that, but let me talk just a minute. Tree loss is not just an environmental issue, it's an economic issue. It causes sickness, heat-related deaths. It requires us to put in more stormwater infrastructure. If we had more trees, we wouldn't need that. So it's not just environmental, it's economic. It hurts Atlanta's economy. Now, how other governments have faced environmental crises, the United States has, what did they do? In the late 60s, the Cuyahoga River caught fire. Congress responded by passing the Clean Water Act in 1972. In the 70s, people in Chattanooga down in the valley couldn't see when it was sunny on Signal Mountain. So we passed the Clean Air Act, our landmark law. We also found that drums of chemicals were being disposed of into the ground, contaminating soil and groundwater. We passed the Superfund law. Those laws are the fundamental laws that have governed and have stood us in good stead, and they were how the federal government responded to a crisis. In your packet, you can find a picture of a beautiful island. I took that picture in 1999, the island of Vieques. It's off the coast of Puerto Rico. The Navy acquired 2/3 of Vieques in the 40s. They used 1/3 for a bombing range and amphibious landings. They used the other third for storage of munitions. They were killing Vieques. Vieques has the best bioluminescent bay in the world, and the Navy was killing it. Puerto Rico sued in the 80s. The Supreme Court held that Vieques was essential for national security. In 1999, they'd had enough when they found lead shells in the bioluminescent bay, and they decided to file another lawsuit. They hired me, and I had the privilege of representing them. And we got the governor to go to President Clinton, who appointed a presidential panel of 5 members, retired military, Pentagon, and retired congressmen, to hear the question of whether Vieques should be returned to Puerto Rico. Through reading history, we were able to demonstrate that the last amphibious landing was in 1950 in Incheon, Korea. By 1999, there was no need for an amphibious landing. It was too dangerous. And we persuaded that panel that Vieques was no longer essential for national security. It's now owned by Puerto Rico, and you can go there, and I urge you to go there sometime. Now, what does Vieques mean to you? Well, Atlanta doesn't have a bioluminescent bay, doesn't have a beach, doesn't have an ocean, but it has its most precious natural resource, its trees. Those trees are being killed daily. We lose 0.43 acres a day to development, and we need to stop it. And I thought about this last night, just like I thought about it before we argued before the presidential panel on Vieques. You can be the presidential panel for not just Chet Tisdale, not just tree protection advocates, but for developers, all people in Atlanta, except developers who clear-cut, hate clear-cutting. I know that. I hear it all the time. People ask me, what can be done, Chet? You're involved in this. And my answer is, you can do this. You can do this month. You can amend the existing TPO, add the very good tree preservation standard, knowing it's been vetted, tested, negotiated. It's very good, and it will protect the rights of landowners and developers, and it will end clear cutting on most single-family residential. Once we do that, then we can move to other issues, recompense, development standards for multifamily and commercial. But the thing we have to do, I speak to you as a citizen of Atlanta on behalf, I think, of all citizens. We have to end the clear cutting in Atlanta. We have to amend the ordinance. We can do it. The legal mechanism is there. You can have a work session. You can do it this month, and then we'll move on to the other issues. But this one issue is like Atlanta's bioluminescent bay.
Thank you. Your time's expired.
Thank you for your time today. I appreciate it.
Mr. Breeslow.
Praise God. I just want to talk to you all just for a second because I'm really have a message for the mayor. We are God's people, and we are here to love one another. And I know you all go through a lot hearing what goes on in this city, and we love you. But you have to understand that people are hurting here. I don't live in this city anymore, but I own property here. And I'm still a part of the city of Atlanta. We are the breed loves. White and blacks is in our family. And we are pushing. We are farmers in the deep south. People are hurting. I'm a senior, a mother, grandmother, great-grandmother. As we was at church yesterday at Ebenezer, and I had the opportunity to meet all the judges, took pictures with them, talked with them. They are eager to hear my story about the city of Atlanta, how the city have mistreated God's people. We're going to do a forum on this. It's time to come together, people. God told me to tell you, 2 Chronicles 7:14, if my people who is called by my name humble themselves and pray, seek him, turn from their wicked ways, then you will hear from heaven, and God will heal thy land. Come on, children. You all are great council people. God has granted you this position. Please do your work. I love you. And Mayor, please help the children that's going to be out this summer. They need help. God bless you all.
Margie McLeod.
It's beautiful in here. Y'all woke up, lights, beautiful. Y'all's not going to sleep. Why I'm here, when the birds stop singing. I didn't come because the trees are being torn down when they don't have to. We know that the homeless on Pride over there by Gateway, you don't cut trees because you don't want the homeless to sit under the trees because it's cool. And I think Boone's supposed to be going to New York. Isn't that right? For 911, guess what? We got trees. We didn't have trees. We cutting trees down, and they growing trees in New York. But what I'm just saying, what's happening Overstreet in our community, Overstreet City Council, we are doing a lot of cutting trees unnecessary. I know we have to have housing, but I am very afraid the deers is coming in our community. Now, it's not against the deer, Mother Nation. And when you cut the trees down unnecessary, the deers is coming out. I saw 6 deers, the families. It's just like they homeless. They homeless. So what I'm propose, we need a deer watch. That's what we need. Because where are these deers gonna go at? They're coming in our neighborhood because they don't have nowhere to go. Because we're just cutting trees, cutting unnecessary trees, because trees give you oxygen. So how about the deers coming in the neighborhood? I feel sorry for them because they're homeless. So what I want to propose, we always have a task team. Let's get a task team for the deers. Because last week, lucky the children wasn't coming out because I was going, I don't drive fast. Lucky I didn't, because the deers was coming across the street because they didn't have nowhere to go because you're tearing down their homes. So let's have a task force. How many deers that is coming? Because somebody gonna get hurt. Both of those children be coming walking from school from Thorough High, and they running across the street for safety. I know. But this is what I'm saying. Let's have a task force for the deers. Let's save the deers. And also the birds. Because the birds don't have.
Jody Williams. Jody Williams.
Hello. Once again, I come in reference to the homeless mothers and children. And if you want to know where they are, they're on Ethel Street, waiting for intake so that they can come and have a place to stay other than out on the streets. You would think by now someone would have done something to help these people, and they're still not doing it. And I heard about the ribbon cutting that's supposed to be tomorrow. After almost 2 years, these people are homeless with their children out on the streets. Now, that's something that hadn't happened in Atlanta for some years, but now the women and children, even with women with jobs, with their vehicles, they are living in their vehicles with their children. You gotta do something, because this is very unusual for the city of Atlanta. But I guess since they've given the investors all the money that they've made from the public housing properties, you gotta help the women and children. If you don't help nobody else, please help these children. They shouldn't have to be on the streets asking for money, asking for handouts. You guys should go and visit the mission, the Atlanta mission, who are trying to support these people, but they don't have that type of funding to take in everybody. So, please go on Ethel Street and on off of Howell Mill Road. I think that's 9th Street, where the people are waiting to get into the shelters. You guys should help them.
Thank you, Ms. Williams. Your time has expired. Next is Nikki Buggs. Due to donated time, you'll have 4 minutes.
Good afternoon. All right, I was waiting for Councilman Liliana Bakhtiari to come back. So can I flip, or do we just need to go forward with that?
You just need to proceed with your comments, please.
Okay, fine. All right, so what I'd like to find out is what is it that we need to do as homeowners of the landmark to get assistance? What is it that you need from us to help you? We've been after this for almost 4 years now. It is June. One of our homeowners, Judy Clements, died last year in June, the 18th, as a matter of fact, 2 weeks from now, fighting this cause. She's been to your offices, to the Senate, just as we all have, fighting for this cause, and we're still fighting about the same thing. So what is it that you need? What can we do to help you? Because at this point, we are out of 200 units now, we have very few homeowners left. We just lost another homeowner. Had been there for 15 years. What is it that you need? We're obviously missing something. Maybe there's a miscommunication. We're missing something. What do you need from us? Ms. Bakhtiari gave them a great tongue lashing March 25th. That will go in the records. Subsequent to that, she gave them another bit of a talking to. They are still operating as if you guys said, great job, continue what you're doing, take over the building, finish building out what you want to, take away the common spaces. They're operating as if they've gotten the approval from you and the state to continue what they're doing. That's what they're doing. There's no enforcement. There's no enforcement, no oversight. So ultimately, you're either telling me that I either am on one side of the law or the other. But we've been fighting this for a long time. We don't know what else to do. And for a sense that you have to hire an attorney, then that's money out of your pocket. Now you're struggling because you're trying to keep your home, to keep it from people like them, investors. Predatory property investor abuses. And they have carte blanche. They have carte blanche to continue what they're doing. In all honesty, we have been failed as homeowners. We have. If you can tell us what we need to do to help you, what can we provide you outside of all of the information we've given, the knocking on your doors, the visiting the senators, knocking on their doors, us being dismissed by staff members saying, oh, well, I have an emergency meeting, or an assistant walking up saying, oh, he has an emergency, he has to go, because no one wants to hear what we have to say. What is it that, how else would you like us to communicate with you? How can we get your assistance? The people that spoke in front of you, the media, to get assistance, we've gotten letters. Has xenophobic pictures on them. Lynched bodies, dead bodies. That's what we got in retaliation. I'll be glad to send it to you so you can see it. I don't want to because it's not a good thing. But this is where we are. And that's it. It's been almost 4 years. We have very few homeowners left. What do you need from us? What do you need? We'll figure it out, we'll get it to you, but this will help other homeowners on down the line where they don't have to suffer through this.
Councilmember Bakhtiari, you may respond.
Thank you. Ms. Buggs, thank you for always being here and fighting. I appreciate you greatly. I am doing everything I can for the city piece. What I really need help with is engaging the state. So go ahead and write me. I said this to Mr. Ambush as well, even with just a few of you on an email, so that I can directly connect you in that email thread to state representatives so that we can join in on holding them, because I'm doing everything from the city level. The HOA is where the real problem is, and that's where we have to engage the state. So you have me 1,000%. These are bad actors. They're the reason regulations should exist on short terms. But what I really, really, really need help on, because you have done, one, email me the threats, because that is completely unacceptable. Second, I really need your help on engaging the state. They respond more to constituents than they do me a lot of the time. So let's work together on that. So just shoot me one. I'll connect them directly if you can CC the other residents so we can do it as a group. I think we'll get a greater response. So let's do that as our next step and go from there. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Sherry B. Williams.
President Pro Tem, I just have, before we move to Ms. Williams, I just have a quick question about that, about this issue, because I know Ms. Buggs and others have been coming a lot about Landmark. So to be clear, the issue is the Airbnbs that are being operated out of Landmark. Am I correct?
Correct. And I can take you, I can, if you want me to, if we want to discuss this in greater
Oh,
detail.
yeah,
I'm
no,
happy to
just
do- but
being
yes, no,
clear,
please.
it's about the Airbnbs where right now there is no limitation or restriction to limit Airbnb use as a private resident chooses to use it. So we're talking about lobbying, you're talking about lobbying efforts to build that restriction. And I just want to make sure that Ms. Buggs have her answer,
Oh, yeah, no,
answer in
Ms. Buggs and I have been working on this for a number of years. So the issue is that you have a bad actor that doesn't live in the building, that has a business on the first floor that is illegally, that is operating in bad faith, and that has done a lot of inappropriate construction, other things, air quality issues, and fines, harassment, intimidation, and they've also made themselves ahead of the HOA, and they don't actually live there.
Right.
So that's the
right.
issue we're having.
So the reason why I was just asking, because I know Ms. Buggs, I know, in terms of just understanding the issue more, I just think it's important for us, and I'll talk to you about it, just to have
Absolutely.
the reasonable timeline of what that looks like, because I really truly don't want you to think that our silence is a consent in any space, or that we agree to what was happening, but there is truly, it seems like there's some multiple timelines that we really need to think about.
Yes.
So I'll get with you, Councilwoman
Thank you,
Bartara.
ma'am.
Thank you for that.
Thank you, CM Collins. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, Ms. Williams, please proceed with your 2 minutes.
Good afternoon, council members. I'm Sherry B. Williams. Today I have two quick issues. One is, first of all, Councilwoman Overstreet, I want to thank you and your staff member, Frank Haywood, for expediting the proclamation for one of your residents that was a World War II decorated Navy veteran who passed away at the age of 98. Thank you for that. And his name was Albert Baker Sr., a decorated Navy veteran. The second thing I want to bring to your attention is what was brought up earlier about the gas station that's illegally being built at 3397 Greenbrier Parkway, which is in gross violation of the Greenbrier SBI 20. Here we are in 2025, 3 years after the SBI was passed. How could this gross error have even happened in the first place? When you came for the on-camera interview with Angelique Proctor, False 5, I mentioned that another stop work order, because there was one done initially back in March, and then they were allowed to continue to build. But I mentioned that a stop work order needed to be done right away because of the current violations of erosion and dust control on that site. A couple days later, I emailed a request for a stop work order. What is the current status? Because we haven't heard anything. And can you give us periodic status reports on what's going on? And even though the bulldozers are out there right now, we have precedents, and that doesn't mean anything. Because at Benjamin E. Mays and Fairburn Road, when the residents stopped the Family Dollar, the bulldozers were already out there. So we'd like a status. Thank you.
Councilmember Overstreet, you may respond.
Thank you, Ms. Williams,
Councilmember
for
Boone.
being here. I too assisted the council member because, as you know, my district is right across the street from hers. At this time, I would like for the law department to opine. We did everything possible to cease and desist, and as you know, for maybe over a month, there was a stop work order. I know for over a month. So legally, I would like for Ms. Amber Robinson to opine on this issue so that also the viewing public will know steps that were taken. Thank you.
Ms. Robinson from the Law Department.
Good afternoon, Amber A. Robinson, City of Atlanta Department of Law. In researching this matter, it was determined that prior to the passage of the legislation to establish the current zoning at the location, the applicant for the establishment in question did in fact submit their application and engage in discussions concerning the application with the Department of City Planning, and in accordance with the Constitution, which protects the vested rights of applicants for permits which are established prior to the change in zoning legislation. It was that action of submitting that application and having those discussions with Atlanta City Planning before the change in the zoning ordinance that enabled them at this point to move forward with the permitting for the establishment.
Councilmember Boone, do you have any follow-up?
I will let the council member from District 11.
All right, Councilmember Overstreet.
Thank you. So this is a complex situation, but when you say that I met you out there alongside the news media, why was I coming to meet you?
Oh, you were actually coming to do the interview?
Because I was in support of the community, correct? I came to talk about how first of all, I didn't like the fact that we had to even be there because we had done so much work as a community to make sure that we saw no more gas stations, liquor stores, and anything that we already have plenty of, small variety stores. We've done a whole lot of work along the Campbellton corridor to make sure that we don't have any more of those because we have enough, right? So at no time was I in favor of having a gas station at that place, especially not by my seniors. I just wanted that to be part of the record because I really deeply care about Southwest Atlanta, and I certainly didn't want it to be a narrative of me not doing all that I could to make sure that we were not having any more gas stations there. We need so many other things in Southwest Atlanta, and a gas station just isn't on that list. Just wanted to make sure that you know that I'm listening to the law department, city planning, and also the community. Like, that is the job of the district council person. I have to pay attention to all of it. And that still doesn't mean that I don't support the community. I'm still gonna do all that I can to make sure that if indeed, as law and city planning says, that the permit was issued properly, I personally still don't think so because we did our paperwork. It was finished in July of 2022. So for that reason, I do stand with the community, but I definitely didn't want the narrative out there as if I'm not interested in following what is right for the community, because that's simply not the case.
Thank you, Councilmember.
Can I ask
no, I'm sorry, we
question
can't have any
of
back and forth. You can follow up with Councilmember Overstreet.
I'm happy
as a sidebar.
to. I've been available to you at all times, and I'm happy to continue to do so, for sure, all of you.
Councilmember
Happy to.
Vaughn.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President Pro Tem. But I want to point out that this is not the first time this type of situation has happened. When I returned to the City Council in 2010, and there was a pawn shop that was somehow mystically granted a permit to exist inside of SPI 11. When I wrote SPI 11 in 1999, we specifically forbade that use. But somehow in the planning department, they said that they were granted the ability to put a pawn shop within that community, even though we outlined everything that was prohibited. What I would suggest at some point is that there be a forensic audit of the computer system about when paperwork is filed, which is, I think we faced another issue within the procurement department about whether or not they're going to a couple of years ago about submitting documents electronically as opposed to having people bring in documents and have them time-stamped. So, I mean, this will continue to happen, and it will continue to disrupt communities until there is an unfallible system of verification. Computers, electronic filings can be manipulated and typically go against the will of the community. Now, as God would have it, that pawn shop that was located in the old, it wasn't O'Reilly's, but it was in the old auto store, God saw fit that it failed, you know, and so it was no longer there, so you couldn't replace it. But there has to be a backup system to verify these documents, because every time this happens, not only does it erodes the community's confidence in city government, and it erodes the community's confidence in the process. So, I mean, particularly if the community's been at the table to develop these SPIs, these special public interest districts that forbade these particular uses, but for somehow in the planning department, there's always an oops that this one particular thing gets through. So I would just encourage colleagues in law department and others to think about that there needs to be at least a two-pronged verification system when this type of paperwork is submitted, so that we can have a clear answer and not depend on the electronic version. Because in my particular case, because I'm a policy pack rat, I still had the original documentation, the original ordinance, that when you pulled it up in the clerk's office, that somehow when the planning department pulled it up, it had been altered from the original. So, having said that, I just wanted to add that to the discussion.
President Pro Tem, can I ask a question?
Ms. Williams, that's against the rules. Your time's expired. Ms. Councilmember Overstreet would be glad to address you as for a sidebar.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Michael Paris.
Good afternoon, President Pro Tem and City Council members. I'm Michael Paris. I'm President and CEO of the Council for Quality Growth. Not here to talk about trees today. You'll be very happy with it. But I do want to talk about the cool roof ordinance that you're going to talk about later. This is 2501310. I really do commend Councilwoman Bakhtiari and others here that have supported this ordinance. I think that's an endeavor that can do a lot for our city, can do a lot for the environment in our city. My one concern is the availability of materials, the cost of those materials, and how this gets implemented in the very short time that was proposed in the first version of the ordinance. So I'd like your consideration of a time extension, at least a year or more, to give the industry time to address the supply chain, understand the cost implications. This would apply not only to the building industry, but it would apply to those homes of our residents when they need to be re-roofed. You have insurance companies that need to be brought into this and understand the cost of that. So it would give time to address that. So I appreciate your consideration of that, and thank you for your work on this.
Councilmember Bakhtiari.
Thank you, Mr. Paris. I appreciate you talking with me these last few days. And I appreciate y'all talking with me this morning, and I'm glad that we have a substitute that we all agree on, and I look forward to meeting with you over the next year to iron out all of those details. So we have that lead up time, and if needed, get ourselves more time, but I'm looking forward to monthly meetings
We're around.
with you
we
all.
Will be here.
Yes, and you have my full commitment that we will be working on this together, and we will find a path forward that does not create additional costs, and I have complete faith that we will, working together over the next year, figure that out. And I appreciate y'all for working with me on that substitute.
Well, thank you. I
Thank
do
you.
appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Councilmember. Thank you, Mr. Paris. Last public speaker is Garrett Wiley.
Good afternoon, President Pro Tem and City Council members. My name is Garrett Wiley, and I'm the Vice President of Government Affairs for the Greater Atlanta Home Builders. And I, from what I understand, is a substitute to this. So I appreciate you, Councilperson Bakhtiari, for working with the Council for Quality Growth earlier today. And I have no further comments. Thank you.
That concludes public comment. Next, we'll move to the report of the journal. Madam Clerk.
Good afternoon, Mr. President Pro Tem and members of council. I, Corinne Lindo, Municipal Clerk of the City of Atlanta, do hereby certify that the minutes of the regular meeting held on Monday, May 19, 2025 are true and correct.
There's a motion by Councilmember Collins. Is there a second? Second by Councilmember Juan. We can handle this with unanimous consent. Madam Clerk, please sound the count on the motion to adopt the journal.
14 yeas.
14 yeas, 0 nays. Journal is adopted. Communications.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President Pro Tem. Item number 1 is 25C0074. This is a communication from Tanya Greer, County Clerk, to the Fulton County Board of Commissioners, submitting the appointment of Reese McCrane to serve as a member of the Beltline Tax Allocation Advisory Committee. This appointment is for a term of 2 years. Staff recommendation to refer to Community Development Human Services Committee and Committee on Council.
Let it follow that course.
Item number 2 is 25C0075. This is a communication from Council members Liliana Bakhtiari, District 5, Alex Wan, District 6, Howard Shook, District 7, Mary Norwood, District 8, and Matt Westmoreland, Post 2 at large, appointing Ms. Deborah Snell to serve as a member of the Human Relations Commission. This appointment is for a term of 3 years. Staff recommendation to refer to Committee on Council.
Let it follow that course.
Mr. President Pro Tem, if I may take items 3 to 6 as a block.
Please.
Item number 23. Item number 3 is 25C0076. This is a communication from Council members Dustin Hillis, District 9, Andrea L. Boone, District 10, Marcia Color Overstreet, District 11, Antonio Lewis, District 12, and Isha Collins, Post 3 at large, appointing Mr. Collins Brown to serve as a member of the Small Business Advisory Council. This appointment is for a term of 2 years. Item number 4 is 25C0077. This is a communication from Councilmember Byron Amos, District 3, appointing Mr. Vincent Terry to serve as a member of the commission to determine an appropriate manner in which to honor the late Judge Thelma Wyatt Cummings Moore. Item number 5 is 25C0078. It's a communication from the Budget Commission submitting the City of Atlanta's fiscal year 2026 Budget Commission report. Item number 6 is 25C0079. This is a communication from Municipal Clerk Corinne Lindo submitting a report of an administrative correction made to previously adopted legislation between the regular council meeting dates of May 19th, 2025 and June 2nd, 2025 to the Atlanta City Council in accordance with Section 2-169 of the Atlanta City Code of Ordinances, correcting Ordinance 2050-1122. For all those items, Mr. President Pro Tem, staff recommendation to accept and file.
Let those 4 items follow that course.
That concludes all the communication items.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Is there any vetoed legislation?
There are none.
Madam Clerk, is there any unfinished business?
There are none.
Thank you. We will now move on to our consent agenda. First, before we proceed on Section 1, are there any items to be removed from the consent agenda? Councilmember Amos.
Yes, sir. I'd like to pull item number 22 on page 12. That's 25-0-1217.
Okay. Thank you, Councilmember Amos. Any other items, colleagues? All right, there's a motion to adopt from Councilmember Juan. There is a second by Councilmember Bakhtiari. Please prepare the vote.
Mr. President Pro Tem, can we take a voice vote on that, please?
Yes. Would you like to call the voice vote?
Member Michael Julian Bond? Councilmember Matt Westmoreland, Post 2 at large?
Aye.
Councilmember Ishay Collins, post 3 at large. Councilmember Jason H. Winston, District 1.
Aye.
Councilmember Maria Faroki, District 2.
Aye.
Councilmember Byron D. Amos, District 3.
Aye.
Councilmember Jason Dozer, District 4. Lillian Bakhtiari, District 5. Alex Wan, District 6.
Aye.
Howard Shook, District 7.
Aye.
Mary Nora, District 8. Mayor Pro Tem Dustin Hillis.
Aye.
Councilmember Andrea Boone.
Aye.
Councilmember Marcia Kohler Overstreet, District 11. Councilmember Antonia Lewis, District 12. That's 13 yeas, 0 nays.
Thank you. 13 yeas, 0 nays. Consent agenda 1 is adopted. Moving on to consent agenda number 2. Are there any items to be removed from consent agenda 2? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adopt. Motion to refer, excuse me. That was motion by Councilmember Wan, second by Councilmember Bakhtiari. Please prepare the vote.
Can we take unanimous consent?
We'll handle this by unanimous consent of members present. If you will sound the count, Madam Clerk.
14 yeas, 0 nays.
Thank you. Those items are referred. We will now move on to reports of our standing committees. Councilmember Shook.
Yeah, thank you. I have the following 4 items that I am going to move be sent to the mayor's office post haste. They are 25-0-1148, 25-0-1149, 25-0-1311, and 25-0-1312.
Second. All right. Motion by Councilmember Shook, seconded by Councilmember Wan.
I'd like to add some items to send post haste. Yes. I have 5 items, 25-0-1299, 25-R-3507, 25-R-3515, 25-R-3516, and lastly, 25-R-3518.
All right. Any other items, colleagues, to move to the mayor's office post haste? Can we address this with unanimous consent or a vote?
We can do unanimous consent.
Okay. Please call the count of unanimous consent.
14 yeas, 0 nays.
All right. Those 9 items, I believe, were sent to the mayor's office post haste. Now moving on to the report of standing committees. Councilmember Westmoreland, Zoning Committee Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Presiding Officer. I know we're going to do budget comments a little bit later, but that was the first time in the city of Atlanta's history that the FEC chair had a budget on the consent agenda, so didn't want that moment to pass. First item on the zoning agenda, 25-0-1199 Z2513 1081 Sanders Avenue Southeast. This ordinance is to rezone from R4BL to R4ABL. The recommendation coming out of committee is to adverse.
All right. Motion is to adverse. Does not need a second coming out of committee. Please prepare the vote.
One moment. The vote is open. Agnes Westmoreland. Will everyone please vote? 13 yeas, 0 nays.
13 yeas, 0 nays. Item is adverse.
Thank you. Next, I'll make a motion to enter committee of the whole.
It's a motion to enter the committee of the whole by Councilmember Westmoreland, seconded by Councilmember Bakhtiari. Please prepare the vote.
The vote is open. The vote's closed. 11 yeas, 0 nays.
11 yeas, 0 nays. We're now in committee of the whole.
I
All right, Councilmember Bond would like his vote recorded.
12 yeas, 0 nays.
12 yeas, 0 nays. We're now in committee of the whole.
I'll make a motion to bring forward a substitute for item 24O1302.
All right, motion to bring forth a substitute by Councilmember Westmoreland, seconded by Councilmember Bakhtiari. Please prepare the vote.
The vote is open. Will everyone please vote? The vote is closed. 13 yeas, 0 nays.
13 yeas, 0 nays. The substitute is before us.
It's an ordinance by Councilmember Andrea L. Boone, is substituted by the Atlanta City Council to rezone from R4 to MR3 for properties located at 745 Bolton Road Northwest and 749 Bolton Road rear northwest to modify the official zoning map and for other purposes. I'll make a motion to refer this item to ZRB.
Motion to refer to ZRB by Councilmember Westmoreland, second by Councilmember Bakhtiari. Please prepare the vote to refer.
The vote is open. The vote is closed. 13 yeas, 0 nays.
13 yeas, 0 nays. The item is adopted.
I'll make a motion to exit committee of the whole.
Motion to exit the committee of the whole by Councilmember Westmoreland, second by Councilmember Juan. Please prepare the vote.
The vote is open. The vote is closed. 13 yeas, 0 nays.
13 yeas, 0 nays. We're now back out of committee of the whole.
I'll make a motion to adopt all actions taken in committee of the whole.
A motion to adopt all items taken in committee of the whole by Councilmember Westmoreland, second by Councilmember Juan. Please prepare the vote.
The vote is open. Will everyone please vote? The vote's closed. 14 yeas, 0 nays.
14 yeas, 0 nays. The item in committee of the whole is now adopted.
That concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Westmoreland. Councilmember Boone, Public Safety and Legal Administration Committee.
Thank you, Mr. President Pro Tem. We do not have a report today. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairwoman Boone. Next is City Utilities Committee, Chairman Lewis.
And thank you, Mr. President Pro Tem. We do not have a report today.
Thank you, Chairman Lewis. Next is Community Development and Human Services Committee, Chairman Winston.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President Pro Tem. I have a first item, which is 25-01308. I'd like to make a motion to bring forth the substitute.
Motion to bring forth our substitute by Councilmember Winston, second by Councilmember Bakhtiari. Please prepare the vote.
The vote is open. The vote is closed. 13 yeas, 0 nays.
13 yeas, 0 nays.
Thank you. 25-01308, an ordinance by Councilmember Michael Julian Bond as substituted by the Atlanta City Council, an ordinance to provide the Second Amendment to ordinances 25-01138, which originally authorized the City of Atlanta to donate funds in the amount not to exceed $12,000.00 to each to East Atlanta Business Association, Little Five Points Business Association West End Merchants Coalition, Virginia Highland District Association, and Sweet Auburn Works, which authorized the mayor or his designee to execute corresponding agreements thereof for the terms of 12 months to support and encourage participation in the Atlanta Main Street program, and which was amended pursuant to the ordinance listened to remove certain organizations unauthorized to receive donations under charter section listed, and to redirect the donation intended for the Little 5 Points Business Association to the Little 5 Points Cultural District, to redirect the donations intended for East Atlanta Business Association and West End Merchants Coalition to Virginia Highlands District Association and for other purposes. This came out of committee favorable on condition.
Substituted, correct?
Correct.
So we need a motion to adopt as substituted.
So I'll make a motion to adopt as substituted.
Is there a second?
Yes, I will be seconding. I was hoping I could also.
Second by Councilmember Bakhtiari.
Yes, and I just also wanted to say I wanted to thank DCP for working with my office to ensure that we found an agent to put forth those funds in a way that was with an agency that I feel is very accountable to this. And I do look forward to working with you all to ensure that the dollars from our Main Street programs, and Sweet Auburn specifically, do make it back into the community, given that it is one of our most neglected corridors. And I do very much appreciate it, Commissioner Prince, to you and your team for working with me on this. Thank you.
All right. So it has been seconded by Councilmember Bakhtiari. Please prepare the vote.
The vote is open. The vote is closed. 13 yeas, 0 nays.
13 yeas, 0 nays. That item is adopted on substitute.
Councilmember Collins, what is your vote?
Councilmember Collins, what is your vote? You state your vote is a yea.
Is Councilmember?
She's back here.
Okay. Councilmember Overstreet, what is your vote? Okay. That's 15 yeas, 0 nays.
15 yeas, 0 nays. Adopted on substitute.
Thank you. Next item is 25-01310. I'd like to make a motion to bring forth the substitute.
Motion to bring forth the substitute by Councilmember Winston, second by Councilmember Wan. Please prepare the vote.
The vote is open. Councilmember Overstreet, what is your vote? Councilmember Hillis, Council President Pro Tem, what is your vote?
Yay.
That's 15 yeas, 0 nays.
15 yeas, 0 nays. That is a substitute is before us.
Correct. 25-01310, an ordinance by Councilmembers Bakhtiari, Winston, Faroki, Amos, Dozier, Westmoreland, Collins, Julian Bond, Claudia Overstreet, Boone, Hillis, Wan, Shook, and Norwood, as amended by Community Development Human Services Committee and as substituted by the Atlanta City Council to amend the City of Atlanta Building Code to add a new section for roofing reflectable standards to reduce heat produced by darker roofing materials and for other purposes. This came out of committee favorable as amended, so I'll make a motion to approve as amended and substituted.
So motion to approve as amended, as substituted by Councilmember Winston. Councilmember Collins.
Councilmember Bakhtiari, so in terms of the 1 year extension, what impact would that have?
Traditional use.
12 months to work on this with the community, to make sure to work on this with our home building community and to ensure that it's implemented responsibly.
Does it need to be noted in the ordinance, or this just for the record makes
Just
that
for the
clear?
record, yes.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
And this item does need a second. Second by Councilmember Bakhtiari. Please prepare the vote.
The vote is open. The The vote's closed. 14 yeas, 0 nays.
14 yeas, 0 nays. That item is adopted.
Thank
As
you.
substituted.
That does conclude my report.
Next up is Transportation, Chairman Amos.
Yes, sir, Mr. President Pro Tem. I have two items. First is Resolution 25-R-3449, a resolution by Councilmember Jason Doge and Amir Faroki authorizing the mayor or his designee on behalf of the Atlanta Department of Transportation to execute a project management agreement with the Atlanta Downtown Improvement District for downtown pedestrian wayfinding in the amount not to exceed $3 million. All contracted work to be charged to and paid from the fund, department, organization, and account number listed herein and for other purposes. This was forwarded from the committee with no recommendation on condition. To my understanding, this condition has not been satisfied, but I think one of the authors want to speak to it.
Councilmember Dozier.
Thank you, Mr. President Pro Tem. We've been working to make sure that the various parties, both the administration, ADID, Central Atlanta Progress, and the Department of Transportation met to talk about how we can move this forward. They do have a meeting scheduled for this week on Thursday, from what I understand. So I recognize that they're having that conversation. I do want to move to hold this in the breast of council so we can take this up at our next meeting.
I second.
All right, so there is a motion to hold in the breast of council by Councilmember Dozier, seconded by Councilmember Amos. And this is a non-debatable item, so we'll move directly to a vote.
The vote is open. The vote's closed. 15 yeas, 0 nays.
15 yeas, 0 nays. That item is held in council.
Thank you, sir. The next item will be 25-O-1217. This item we pulled off the consent agenda. This item needs to be amended, but the caption will not be affected. An ordinance by Councilmember Byron D. Amos as amended by Transportation Committee to rename Edward Street Northwest that runs between Andrews Street Northwest and Acreage Street Northwest to C.A. Wembley Senior Way Northwest to waive certain provisions of Section 138-8 of the City of Atlanta Code of Ordinance and for other purposes. Make a motion to amend.
It's a motion to amend by Councilmember Amos. Is there a second? Second by Councilmember Juan. Please prepare the vote.
The vote is open. The vote's closed. 15 yeas, 0 nays.
Thank you, sir. Just for the
0 nays. The
record.
amended item is now before us.
Thank you. And just for the record, the amendment was made. It needed a document from the commissioner to be added to the package. Make a motion to approve.
A motion to approve as amended. Is there a second? Second by Councilmember Juan. Please prepare the vote.
The vote is open. The vote's closed. 14 yeas, 0 nays.
14 yeas, 0 nays. Item is approved as amended.
Ms. Norwood, what's your vote? It's 15 yeas, 0 nays.
15 yeas, 0 nays. Amended item is approved.
Thank you, sir. The answer report.
Thank you. We are going to save FEC for last. So Councilmember Chair Collins, report of the Committee on Council.
Thank you so much, Mr. Council President Pro Tem. For Committee on Council, we have 6 items on the report. If there are no objections, I would like for us to take items 1 through 4 as a block.
Please do.
Okay, no objections, okay. And also just note, you have the agenda, making sure that you have the updated agenda, and it's stated in top, highlighted in yellow. Item number 125-C-0061, a communication from Lyndon Waller, Deputy Director, Georgia Coalition for the People's Agenda, submitting the appointment of Ms. Anganetti Gordon Estes to serve as a member of the Atlanta Citizens Review Board. This appointment is for a term of 3 years. Item number 225-C-0069, a communication from Mayor Andre Dickens appointing Mr. David Simpkins to serve as a member of the City of Atlanta, Fulton County Recreation Authority. This appointment is for a term for 4 years. Item number 325-C-0070, a communication from Council President Doug Shipman appointing Ms. Robin Craig to serve as a member of the City of Atlanta Audit Committee. This appointment is for a term of 4 years. And item number 4, 25-C-0071, a communication from Mayor Andre Dickens appointing Ms. Jana Edmonds Cooper, Esquire, to serve as a contract compliance hearing officer for the City of Atlanta. This appointment is for a term of 2 years. These items come out of the committee with favorable recommendations. The items also come out of their committee's purview with favorable recommendations, and accordingly, the recommendation is to adopt.
The motion out of committee is to adopt. Does not need a second. Please prepare the vote.
The vote is open. Will everyone please vote? The vote is closed. 14 yeas, 0 nays.
14 yeas, 0 nays. Those 4 items are favorable.
Councilmember Westmoreland, what is your vote? 15 yeas, 0 nays.
Correction to 15 yeas and 0 nays. Those 4 items are favorable.
Great, thank you. This brings us to our ordinances for second reading. Item number 5, 25-0-1291, an amended ordinance by Committee on Council to amend Part 2, Chapter 2, titled Administration, Article 2, Legislative of the City of Atlanta Code of Ordinances to add a new section 2-106 to codify procedures for the City Council when meeting as a committee of the whole and for other purposes. This item comes before the body with favorable recommendation, and accordingly, the recommendation is to adopt as amended.
The recommendation is to adopt as amended out of committee. No second is needed. Please prepare the vote.
The vote is open. Will everyone please vote? The vote is closed. 15 yeas, 0 nays.
15 yeas, 0 nays. That item is adopted.
Great, thank you. And so the last item we have, item number 6, which is walk-in legislation. Item number 25-R-3548, a resolution by Committee on Council recommending that the Department of Finance provide monthly reports to the Finance Executive Committee as set out herein, that the administration continue to operate the Vacancy Review Board, and that the Department of Finance provide a report on the final 2025 fiscal position and for other purposes. This item was read in at committee meeting this morning and received a favorable recommendation. Accordingly, the recommendation will be to adopt.
The recommendation out of committee is to adopt. Please prepare the vote.
One moment. The vote is open. Will everyone please vote? The vote is closed. 14 yeas, 0 nays.
Great.
14 yeas, 0 nays. That item is adopted.
Councilmember Bakhtiari, what is your vote? It's 15 yeas, 0 nays.
15 yeas, 0 nays. That item is adopted.
That is all we have to report. Thank you so much, Mr. Council President Pro Tem.
And our final committee report, Finance Executive Committee, Chairman Shook.
Thank you. We have two items today. The first of which is 25-0-1277, and I will move to bring forward a substitute.
Motion to bring forth a substitute by Councilmember Shook, second by Councilmember Wan. Please prepare the vote.
The vote is open. The vote is closed. That's 14 yeas, 0 nays.
14,
thank you.
Ms.
14
Collins,
yeas,
what
0
is your
nays.
vote? That's 15 yeas, 0 nays.
15 yeas, 0 nays.
Thank you. I'll read the caption of the substitute. This is a substitute ordinance by Finance Exec to amend the chapters listed here in the city code so as to provide for certain position abolishments, creations, reclasses, class creations, above entry authorizations, employee and personnel position transfers, position funding, allocation changes, and other personnel actions in line with the FY26 budget and for other purposes. Receipt of this substitute was the condition by which this came forward out of committee, and so I will move approval on substitute.
Move approval on substitute by Councilmember Shook, second by Councilmember Wan. Please prepare the vote.
The vote is open. Will everyone please vote?
Councilmember Collins, Councilmember Lewis.
The vote is closed. 15 yeas, 0 nays.
15 yeas, 0 nays. That item is adopted on substitute.
Thank you. I'll move to send this to the mayor's office post haste.
Motion to send to the mayor's office post haste by Councilmember Shook, second by Councilmember Wan. Please prepare the vote.
The vote is open. Will everyone please vote?
Councilmember Overstreet.
The vote is closed. 15 yeas, 0 nays.
15 yeas, 0 nays.
Thank you. We have a resolution.
Councilmember Wan.
Thank you, Mr. Pro Tem. I think I don't want this moment to escape. I know that we gave Councilmember Shook a round of applause after we did the consent agenda, but I do think we need to take a moment and just really thank him for his stewardship through this process. As y'all know, this is the largest budget in the city of Atlanta's history. There was a lot of discussion during the hearings, as well as our committee meetings, as well as just conversations between him, colleagues, as well as the department in terms of addressing concerns, putting in appropriate safeguards, making sure we had the complete justification for what the departments were asking for. Also want to thank the finance department as I see our CFO of the year walking out. But I want to acknowledge their responsiveness as well as the administration's to questions that we had posed during the hearings. We got data and information back. It felt faster this year and in time for our committee deliberations last week. And even at the last minute with the concerns and questions that we raised over the personnel paper, the response that we got from the administration and the substitute that we saw before us today, I think just demonstrates what a good budgeting process looks like, what collaboration in terms of keeping a watchful fiscal eye over it beginning July 1 will look like. I think understanding the headwinds that could arise, they're not guaranteed or they're not presumed, but if they're there, I think we stand in good stead to face them. But all of this would not have been possible without Chairman Shook's steady hand and watchful eye and just, I think, encouragement through this entire process. So I didn't want us to move on without that accolade because it's well-deserved and much appreciated. So thank you.
I have a rebuttal.
Thank you, Councilmember Juan. I had a well-written speech prepared, but I think you took it right out of my hands. So, Chairman Shook.
Yeah, thank you. I just want to remark on how well attended the budget hearings were. Everybody was there at one point or another. Most of us were there actually for all of it. Probably the best attended I can remember. So that's a good indication of how invested we were in the best possible outcome. I want to thank, of course, the administration for working with all of us, right up to the last minute. And of course, the Department of Finance, led by the CFO of the year, Mr. Bala. So congratulations to everyone. We have one more item here on my report. It says Resolution 25R3510, resolution by members Boone, Bond, Overstreet, and Hillis to amend FY26 to transfer funds in the amount of $50,000 to the Atlanta Commission on Women to support its operations, programming, and initiatives, and for other purposes. This is already folded into the budget, making this a duplicate, and so I will move to file it.
Motion to file by Councilmember Shook, second by Councilmember Bakhtiari. Please prepare the vote on the motion to file.
The vote is open. Will everyone please vote? The vote is closed. That's 14 yeas, 0 nays.
14 yeas, 0 nays.
Westmoreland, Councilman Westmoreland, what is your vote? That's 15 yeas, 0 nays.
Just kidding again. 15 yeas, 0 nays. Item is filed.
That concludes my report, Mr. Semi-Pro Tem.
Thank you, Chairman Shook. That completes our committee reports. We will have a special guest here in about 15 minutes. We will start reading in personal papers. So, Councilmember Shook, you are actually back up according to my list.
All right, thank you. Elms 38115 is a resolution by Shook authorizing the Commissioner of Watershed Management to adjust water and sewer service charges on certain customer accounts in accordance with the City Code section listed here in the amount of blank.
Will be referred to FEC.
Elms 38116, resolution by Shook authorizing the CFO to refund customers for overpayments to water and sewer accounts in the amount of blank. All funds to be charged to and paid from, etc.
Will be referred to FEC.
Elms 38133 is an ordinance by Shook authorizing the transfer of funds from various council carry-forward accounts to the respective council distribution and expense accounts to continue serving the Atlanta community by funding projects for the public good within their districts or donating funds for charitable purposes and for other purposes.
The paper will be also referred to FEC.
Thank you.
Councilmember Overstreet, you're up.
Elms ID number 38056, an ordinance by Councilmember Marcy Collier Overstreet to waive Chapter 2, Article 10 of the City of Atlanta Code of Ordinances, the Procurement and Real Estate Code, to authorize the mayor or his designee to execute an agreement with Fuse Corp. for the term of 1 year effective May 1st, 2025, ending April 30th, 2026, in an amount not to exceed $80,000.00 payable in 2 equal installments of $40,000.00 from fiscal year 2025 budget and the fiscal year 2026 budget for the continued placement of an executive fellow who will assist the mayor's chief policy advisor, Division of Strategic Partnerships and Strategic Initiatives, for a 12-month fellowship to ratify all services provided by Fuse Corp. From May 1st, 2025 through the execution of an agreement, all contracted services to be charged and paid from the accounts listed herein and for other purposes.
That item will be referred to CDHS Committee.
Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Lewis.
Council President Pro Tem, I almost ran up here. I'm so excited about the legislation we have today for the South Side. Elms ID 38088. A ordinance by Councilmember Antonio Lewis, Councilmember Michael Julian Bunn, Councilmember Matt Westmoreland, Councilmember Marcy Carrier Overstreet, and Councilmember Ishay Collins. An ordinance authorizing the mayor on behalf of the city of Atlanta to execute all documents necessary for the acquisition of certain property interests necessary for the Cleveland Avenue Safe Streets project, authorizing negotiations with property owners for the acquisition of such property interests.
Item will be referred to the Transportation Committee.
And a companion partner, right? So Elms ID 37994, an ordinance by Councilmember Antonio Lewis, an ordinance by Councilmember Michael Julian Bunn, Matt Westmoreland, Marcy Carrier Overstreet, and Councilmember Ishay Collins, authorizing the mayor on behalf of the city to execute all documents necessary for the acquisition of certain property interests necessary for the Cleveland Avenue sidewalk, the installation project, authorizing negotiations with property owners for the acquisition of such property interests, authorizing title searches, appraisals, surveys, and any other items necessary for the acquisition of such property interests, authorizing the mayor and the city attorney in the event negotiations are unsuccessful to work with people, to institute condemnation proceedings pursuant to the Declaration of Taking Method, OCGA 3231 ET, sequence waiving certain provisions of Article 10, Real Estate and Procurement Code of the City of Atlanta, Code of Ordinance, for all contracted work and payments for property interest to be paid from account listed herein and for other purposes.
That item will also be referred to the Transportation Committee.
Elms ID 38131. A resolution by Councilmember Matt Westmoreland, Michael Julian Bond, Councilmember Marcy Carrier Overstreet, and Councilmember Ishay Collins. A resolution by requesting the Commissioner of the Atlanta Department of Transportation to conduct a traffic study in the Perkinson neighborhood to determine eligibility for the need for any safety improvements due to the increased traffic volume, such as calming devices, reduced speeds, or stop signs along Springdale Road Southwest between Cleveland Avenue Southwest and State Route 166 Langford Parkway, and for all the purposes.
Item will also be referred to the Transportation Committee.
Thank you, Mr. President Pro Tem.
I will read my papers in. First one will be Elms ID 38089. An ordinance by Councilmember Dustin Hillis authorizing the mayor and his designee on behalf of the city of Atlanta to execute a lease agreement between the city of Atlanta and the Atlanta Independent School System for an approximately 1 acre portion of the property located at 2751 Peyton Road Northwest, Atlanta, Georgia 30318, and commonly known as Chattahoochee Park back, waiving the competitive procurement provisions contained in Chapter 2, Article 10 of the Procurement and Real Estate Code of the City of Atlanta Code of Ordinances on behalf of the Department of Parks and Recreation and for other purposes. And that item will be referred to the Community Development and Human Services Committee. Elms ID 38090, an ordinance by Councilmember Dustin Hillis authorizing the mayor or his designee on behalf of the City of Atlanta to execute a lease agreement between the City of Atlanta and the Atlanta Independent School System for an approximately 3.5 acre portion of the parcel located at 2751 Peyton Road Northwest, Atlanta, Georgia 30318, and commonly known as Chattahoochee Park Front, waiving the competitive procurement provisions contained in Chapter 2, Article 10, Procurement and Real Estate Code of the City of Atlanta Code of Ordinances on behalf of the Department of Parks and Recreation and for other purposes. Elms ID 38100, a resolution by Councilmember Dustin Hillis authorizing the mayor or his designee to enter into an intergovernmental agreement with Cobb County, Georgia on behalf of the Department of Watershed Management for the provision of water and sewer treatment services for certain areas of the city of the Cobb County water system. All contracted work to be charged to and paid from the fund department and account numbers listed herein and for other purposes. That will be referred to the City Utilities Committee. Elms number 38132, an ordinance by Councilmember Dustin Hillis to adopt the Huff Road Multimodal Plan to amend the 2021 Comprehensive Development Plan by incorporating by reference said plan and for other purposes. That item will be referred to the Community Development and Human Services Committee. My final item is Elms ID 38111, an ordinance by Councilmembers Dustin Hillis, Matt Westmoreland, Michael Julian Bond, and Ishay Collins to amend the 1982 Atlanta zoning ordinance as amended, City of Atlanta Code of Ordinances, Part 16, Chapter 41, West Side of Park Affordable Housing Overlay District to expand the geographic boundaries of the overlay, to amend the title of Chapter 41, and for other purposes. And that item will be referred to the Zoning Committee. Next up, Councilmember Dozier.
Thank you, Mr. Council President Pro Tem. I have one item today. Is Elms number 38134, an ordinance by Councilmembers Jason Dozier and Jason Winston authorizing a donation in an amount not to exceed $10,000.00 from the District 4 and District 1 carry forward accounts to In-Town Collaborative Ministries Incorporated, also known as In-Town Cares, pursuant to Section 6-306 of the City of Atlanta's Charter and for other purposes.
That item is referred to FEC Committee.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Councilmember Collins.
Great, thank you. Elms ID number 38066, an ordinance by Councilmember Ishay Collins, amending the Mayor's Office of International and Immigrant Affairs FY 2024 budget by adding to anticipations and appropriations an amount not to exceed $82,840.00 in Victims of Crime Act Assistance Grant Award funding from the Georgia Criminal Justice Coordinating Council, also known as CJCC, for the purposes of providing direct services to victims of violent crimes and for other purposes.
We refer to the Finance Executive Committee.
Yes, thank you.
Councilmember Boone.
Thank you, Mr. President Pro Tem. Elms ID number 38102, an ordinance by Councilmember Andrea Boone authorizing the mayor or his designee on behalf of the Department of City of Planning to accept the Community Challenge Grant from the American Association of Retired Persons in an amount not to exceed $17,500.00 for the reconnection of communities divided by infrastructure, to authorize the chief financial officer to amend the fiscal year 2025 budget by adding to anticipations and appropriations an amount of $17,500.00 to authorize the mayor or his designee to enter into necessary agreements in connection with the grant and for other purposes.
I will refer to the Community Development and Human Services Committee.
Elms ID number 38099, an ordinance by Councilmember Andrea L. Boone, waiving Part 2, Code of Ordinances, General Ordinances, Chapter 2, Administration, Article Procurement and Real Estate Code, Division 4 of the Atlanta City Code, to authorize the mayor or his designee to exercise the second renewal option for cooperative agreement FC 1190642, cellular and wireline router services, utilizing Georgia Technology Authority contract number 9800 GTA 794A with AT&T Mobility National Accounts LLC for wireless data services on behalf of the Department of Watershed Management, the Atlanta Police Department, the Department of Atlanta Information Technology, and the Atlanta Fire Rescue Department for a term of 1 year, retroactively effective from July 1st, 2024 through June 30th, 2025, to ratify services rendered in connection with the agreement, retroactively effective beginning July 1st, 2024, through the exercise of the second renewal option to execute the third amendment to the agreement to add funding in an amount not to exceed $109,000.00. All contracted work to be charged to and paid from the fund department organization and account numbers listed herein and for other purposes.
Item will refer to FEC.
Next item, ELMS ID number 38101, a resolution by Councilmember Andrea L. Boone authorizing the mayor or his designee to execute an agreement for RFP CON DWM 2312-124-0164 North Utoy Trunk Sewer Replacement, IA with Ruby Collins Benchmark Joint Venture on behalf of the Department of Watershed Management to commence on the date a notice to proceed is issued for a period of 24 months in an amount not to exceed $61,328,000, $59.00. All contracted work will be charged to and paid from the fund department organization and account number listed herein and for other purposes.
That item will refer to the City Utilities Committee.
Thank you, Mr. President Pro Tem.
Colleagues, we'll take a pause on personal papers. We've been joined by Mayor Andre Dickens, and we'd like to hear from him, and I will entertain a motion to suspend the rules to do so. Second by Councilmember Juan, or motion by Councilmember Juan, second by Councilmember Bakhtiari. Please prepare the vote to suspend the rules. Just a second, man. We got to take a vote to suspend the rules. You've been gone too long.
I know.
From up here. Okay, we can handle this by unanimous consent. There was no objection. Madam Clerk, please sound the count of unanimous consent of members present.
15 yeas, 0 nays.
15 yeas, 0 nays. The rules are suspended, and Honorable Mr. Mayor Andre Dickens and a CEO of the year. We're just talking about the CFO of the year. We also have a CEO of the year, so.
Good afternoon, council members. Good afternoon. Thank you all for your hard work. Your commitment to this city has been second to none. I thank you for your partnership. We've been doing amazing things together, and I'm honored to stand before you as you all have just passed our FY 26 budget. You guys have done an amazing job in getting prepared for this, and thank you that not only was it passed, but it was passed on consent. This is the first time ever that a budget has been passed on consent. That means that we worked hard together. We really, hunkered down and got a lot of things done, made a lot of adjustments, was really working hard to get to the place where everybody could agree. Not only has it been approved unanimously, not only did it get approved like last year, it was done with with no amendments, or was it no amendments last year? But this year, it's gotten done on consent, which means that all the work was done in committee or before. This is a vote of confidence for Atlanta's future. You have demonstrated great stewardship, great leadership, great commitment to the people of Atlanta. And I also want to say that that is true also for the cabinet members that are here and all of the 9,500 employees of the city of Atlanta, starting, of course, with the senior leadership team, the COO, chief of staff, policy officer, strategy officer, CFO, city attorney. And to double click down on that, the CFO and his team, Mohammed Bala and all of the deputy CFOs and the men and women of the finance department. We really thank you. Thank you for your leadership. Thank you for your preparation. As I was named CEO of the year, Bala was named CFO of the year. It all comes down to team. It all comes down to how our teams work together and how they lead and how they work with you. So thank you all for your leadership. Thank you, CFO, and all your team of budget chiefs and revenue chiefs and folks that really work hard on this. All those meetings that we had, public meetings here, meetings with individual council members about particular very pressing and clear issues that you wanted to be addressed in this upcoming budget. And we stand here together on this. So thank you to all of my team members, to our COO who really worked hard on the departments to make sure they right size and restructure certain activities and to make sure that we had the personnel alignment that we needed to make this budget work. And then to the Chief of Staff and all of his team members that are under him, everybody really put in to make sure that we got this done. The thing I will say also is, we're continuing our commitment to public safety. We're continuing our commitment to affordable housing. We're continuing our commitment to young people. We're double downing on those things that you guys mentioned. We are not shy about the fact that you wanted our transportation and city infrastructure to get better. And we heard that, and we also are committed to that, and this budget speaks to that. To our employees, we've always had your back in these last 4 years, and yet again, we have your back now. Our comp and class study implementation is still rolling out and going in the right fashion. So all these major investments in our infrastructure, in our small businesses, in our youth, but also in the people that run this city, we're also making sure we do that. This budget is a statement of our values and the quality of life that we want to have for all of our residents in this city. And so I thank each of you for everything that you do to support this city. To Councilmember Shook, this was, as the finance chair and as someone who has announced your retirement that I'm not real happy about, but I'm gonna go ahead on and keep on saying, I'm supportive of your decision to retire. But you have led this finance committee over and over again to a place that where now we have a AAA credit rating, we have a bunch of like almost $200 million in reserves, and we have this balanced budget yet again, and we got it done on consent. The people of Atlanta, thank you for your leadership. As this is your last budget, kudos to you on getting it done on consent. So let's give a round of applause. Thank you. Thank you for that. Again, Councilmember Shook, and to all members of the Finance Committee, all of the committees, thank you all for what you've been doing. Last thing I say is, the budget, this passage today means a lot. It just means we got more work to do. It means that we got to continue to go forward. We got to implement everything we say we were going to do. As you've seen in our track record, once we say we're going to do a thing, we do a thing, and we do it together. We say we're going to bring down crime. As you stand today, our homicides have dropped over 50% over the last 3 years, year to date. As you see us, crime is down across this entire city, and all the things we're doing with affordable housing and things we're doing. You see trucks out there paving roads, our park scores have increased, but there's still more to be done. And so we're gonna right-size this city, this little 8% of the metro area that everybody in the whole metro comes to our parks, everybody's safe on our streets, everybody flushes flushes toilets in our city that comes from all across the region. We're gonna make sure that this city gets its proper share of that revenue model, and that we grow this city in a balanced way. You've done a tremendous job, and we've done this together for the last 4 budgets. I am so thankful to be in partnership with you. So good job to all of you, and the work continues from here. God bless you all. Thank you, and I'll see you on the other side over here. Give a shout out to our team. Thank you, team members. Cabinet. Go team. All right.
Thank you, Mayor Dickens. It was great working with you 4 years up here, and it's been great working with you almost 4 years as our mayor. And having the CFO of the year and the CEO of the year makes it that much better. Colleagues, don't think we're taking budget requests anymore, but any comments for the mayor and his team? Councilmember Boone?
Yes, thank you, Mayor, and this dynamic, great team. For the viewing public, those that live in Southwest Atlanta, Northwest Atlanta, Northeast and Southeast, thank you for putting the people of Atlanta first. Thank you for answering the call. Thank you for showing up to this dynamic team. When you don't hear from us, they hear from us, and they are responding. To the COO, a young girl from Adamsville that is now running this city. To you, Mayor, a young man that went to LP Miles Elementary School and Benjamin Mays High School, and now you are running your city. Thank you. To Mr. Donald and Chief Courtney English, those Astros, we are so very, very proud of them. And to that Deputy Chief of Staff who has to hear the cries at night. and has to, he met me last week.
Come right here, Theo.
He met me. Met me last week on Peyton Road and said, I think I'm gonna resign from Chalet Peyton. I said, C.T. Martin won't want you to leave your community. You gotta stay with Dr. Rhodes and that entire team. So Theo Pace, thank you for answering the call. Thank you.
Councilmember Bond.
Thank you, Mr. President Pro Tem, and thank you, Bear, for your comments, but you are being modest. This is a budget that loomed with a deficit for most of the year. So even though this seems polite and nice, this is a tremendous accomplishment of leadership from yourself, our CFO, and the entire administration, and of course, on the council side, Mr. Shook and the Finance Committee. You all deserve much more praise for not only passing a balanced budget, which you have done in the past, but doing so in the face of such adversity that has not impacted the citizens of Atlanta. No tax increase, no additional pressure on the citizens to meet their obligation in their taxes. This is a tremendous, tremendous victory, and it is also an indication of sound management for the city of Atlanta and great fiscal ability of our CFO. So again, congratulations, sir, gentlemen, and women of the administration, and congratulations again to you, Mr. Shook. And we look forward to your new career as a Abraham Lincoln impersonator. God bless you, sir. Thank you.
Councilmember Amos.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. President Pro Tem. Mr. Mayor, I was going to say ditto to everything my colleague, Councilwoman Boone, was saying until she got to that Douglas part, and it kind of shook me. But Douglas is in District 3, so I take credit for that too. All jokes aside, I think since we've been here together, you have heard from me a few times, and now I figured out why. I don't need to call you because I look at your team. I'm looking at the faces of the men and the women behind you, and I have had a difficult conversation with most of them, but they didn't shy away. They didn't turn away. They sat there, they spoke with me, and we figured it out for District 3. And I just want to say thank you to them because every day, I have to call them once or twice, every day they show up and they fight for this city, my city, that I love and born and raised in. So to your team, and then of course back to you, Mr. Mayor, thank you for everything you do on behalf of the citizens of District 3 and the citizens of the city of Atlanta. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Amos. Thank you.
Member Collins.
Well, I had a little bit more technical response, but this is my first budget season, and learned a lot. So I just want to thank your team for answering my tough questions, but also, just the opportunity to learn a deeper dive in terms of the magnitude of our work and just all of the inner workings. When I came on board, I had to hit the ground running, so this process was just a really good opportunity for me to learn all the departments in turn where I have not had the opportunity to sit down with everyone. So I just want to thank you all for that. I definitely want to shout out CFO Mo. I call him baller, because he definitely asked some really tough questions, answered some really tough questions for me that I think also the community just needs to be aware of when it comes to the budget. Part of it is a lot of, numbers tell a story, and I think it's an opportunity for us to do a deeper dive and telling the story about what the impact of this budget means and what it entails, Mayor. So any talking points or anything as we are communicating and champion the things in the city that will help explain this budget, but also debunk any of the narratives that may come out the numbers where where you're hearing about the deficit and the increase, but when you look at the projections and when you look at the positions and when you do a deeper dive of it, it is definitely a balanced budget. So I just wanted to share that suggestion if your team is open to it. But thank you all so much. I'm looking forward to many more opportunities to do a deeper dive and see how we can continue to expand the impact that we want to have on the lives of all of us here in Atlanta. So thank you all so much.
Thank you, Councilmember.
Councilmember Overstreet.
Okay, just a couple more accolades.
Yes.
Definitely want to take the opportunity to say thank you. Thank you so very much for always leaning in, and I mean leaning all the way in. As I look through your whole team that's standing behind you, I don't see any faces that I don't work with on a regular basis, and that means a lot. That means that everyone is at the table. And I don't know if all other cities can say that, where we're constantly having conversations throughout the year. So this is not a budget that comes to us and we know nothing about it. Like, we know all about it. And it's because of all of the work that we're all doing together. And I just want to thank you for that, because we do know that it could definitely be different. And when you start speaking about those great things like AAA bond rating and the CEO of the year and the CFO of the year, like, all across the nation, any city will be happy to say those things, but we're saying it here in Atlanta, Georgia, and it's because of you and your team. And so thank you. Yeah, it was on consent, and, Howard Shook, I know you're trying to not get all caught up, but that was no easy feat. Big deal, huge deal of what you were able to pull off around. No, it's a big deal. It's a big deal. And it's your last budget. It means everything that you were able to do that. So congratulations again, and congratulations to the entire team. Very proud of us. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Lewis.
And I was just saying, Mayor, the least lost and left out on the South Side definitely are seen in this budget. When I was going through, I see South Side, South Side, South Side. Even today, the legislation we were able to put across for safe streets is something we needed to get done. So truly appreciate that, and let's continue to think about the least lost and left out. That's how the city continues to thrive and grow. Thank you.
Thank you.
Councilmember Norwood.
Yes, Mayor, thank you for bringing the city together. You have done a great job, and your team has done a great job to acknowledge all of the city. And as you say, one safe city, moving Atlanta forward together. You have emulated that, your staff has, and I, as a council member, am very, very grateful for that. So thank you, sir, and thank you, entire team.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Councilmember Bakhtiari.
Hey, Mayor.
Hey.
I have to, obviously, everyone's accolades, and I just really, all of the calls, all of the conversations, being present, and all the preparations. If we were that tired at the end of last week, then I have no doubt y'all were as well. And I really want to thank, Dala Bala and his team for everything that they did. Mo Money, more, but never mind. There's so many nicknames. But yes, Money Man is creeping up behind you. But COO, I have to thank you for your never-ending patience, because I know there's a lot of it, and for the constant conversations, and to Deputy Chief Pace. Whenever you need me to pay that therapy bill, you just let me know. But deeply appreciate y'all, and I just have to also commend Councilmember Shook for being able to get us through one of the most complex budgets while also planning a New York wedding. I know that wasn't easy. And I also, we're talking about people who are leaving. I also just wanted to thank, I know Council President's not here, but I also wanted to thank Councilmember Faroki. And I know this is our last budget together as well. So I'm just grateful to y'all and to the group. And I just wanted to say thank you, and thank you in advance for allowing me to continually harass you. So I appreciate y'all very much. Thank you.
Colleagues, we only have a few holdouts. All right. Thank you all. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you and your team.
Thank you all. Once again, thank you. Thank you, team. All right. Get out of here before they ask us to do something else. Thank you.
All right, we will continue on with our normal business now of personal paper read-ins. There's Councilmember Bond. Mr. Councilmember Bond, you are up on your personal papers.
Thank you, Mr. President Pro Tem. First item, Elms ID number 38135, an ordinance by Councilmember Michael Julian Bond to waive section 15-07.006 of the Land Subdivision Ordinance of the City of Atlanta for the purpose of facilitating an acknowledgement of 1052 Hurst Street as two separate lots substantially consistent with the historic configuration and prevailing plat pattern, and for other purposes.
Item will be referred to the CDHS committee.
Okay. Next is Elms ID number 38098, a resolution by Councilmember Michael Julian Bond authorizing the mayor or his designee to execute the First Amendment agreement with SPPS DOF DWM 2311-1240159 Revenue Recovery Services with Utility Revenue Management Company Incorporated on behalf of the Department of Watershed Management to clarify the terms of the agreement. All contracted work should be charged to and paid from the fund and department organization and account number listed herein, and for other purposes.
Item will be referred to the City Utilities Committee.
Okay. Next is Elms ID number 38106, an ordinance by Councilmember Michael Julian Bond authorizing the mayor or his designee on behalf of the City of Atlanta to grant temporary, permanent, and perpetual easements under, upon, above, and across a portion of the right-of-way of Martin Luther King Jr. Drive Southwest, consisting of approximately 1,865 square feet for the construction, repair, and replacement, maintenance, and operation of an aerial pedestrian bridge with a top bridge elevation of 1.198.82 feet and the bottom bridge elevation of 1,076.67 feet to the Georgia Building Authority, a body of corporate and politic and instrumentality of the state of Georgia, and a public corporation created by existing under the laws of the state of Georgia, and waiving and any conflicting provisions of Article 10, Division 14, subsequent to the Atlanta City Code, and for other purposes.
I'll be referred to the Transportation Committee.
Elms ID number 38137, an ordinance by Councilmember Michael Julian Bond to amend the Atlanta Code, Part 2, General Ordinances, Chapter 158, Vegetation, Article 2, Tree Protection, to require that the arborist meeting should take place at the initial stage of tree permitting process and for other purposes.
Item will be referred to CDHS committee.
We got an Elms ID number 38136, signed by all members of council, to establish a program for assistance with tree removal and pruning for eligible senior citizen homeowners in the city of Atlanta, and to have the ability to partner with nonprofit organizations to assist with the cost of trees on their property and for other purposes.
Item will be referred to the CDHS committee.
That concludes my legislation.
All right, and lastly, Councilmember Amos.
Yes, sir, Mr. Pro Tem, have AMS number 38103, an ordinance by Councilmember Byron D. Amos supplementing the restated and amended master bond ordinance of the city of Atlanta adopted on March 20 of 2000, as previously amended and supplemented, providing for the issuance of by the city of Atlanta and its airport customer facility charge revenue bonds in the combined aggregate principal amount not to exceed $310 million in multiple series designed herein as Series 2025 CFC bonds and any additional sub-series designation as herein permitted, providing funds for the purpose of, among other things, financing and refinancing in whole or in part the cost of planning, engineering, design, acquisition, equipping, and constructing and reconstructing of certain improvements to the City of Atlanta Airport Consolidated Rental Car Facility and Automatic People Mover Maintenance Facility, providing for a reasonable required debt service reserve, providing for the payment of costs and issuance, including bond issuance, if any, providing for the cost of issuance, form of, and authorizing the execution of said Series 2025 CFC bonds, providing for the rights of the holder of said Series 2025 CFC bonds, authorizing and approving the preparation, use, and distribution of preliminary official statement in the final official statement in connection with the offer and sale of said Series 2025 CFC bonds, granting the chief officer, the city finance officer, or airport manager the authority to deem final the preliminary official statement from purpose of Securities and Exchange Commission Rule 15C2-12, and the authority to approve and execute a final official statement authorizing the execution of a continuing disclosure agreement, a bond purchase agreement, and certain other agreements in connection with said Series 2025 CFC bonds, authorizing certain amendments to the master bond ordinance and providing for incidental related actions, providing an effective date, and for other related purposes.
That item will be referred to FEC.
That took longer than the budget did. Next is AMS ID 38105, an ordinance by Councilmember Byron D. Amos on behalf of the Department of Grants and Community Development to amend the city's 2015 through 2019 consolidated plan, the 2018 annual action plan budget, the 2019 annual action plan budget, and the 2025 home investment fund budget for the purpose of reprogramming home investment partnership program funds in the amount not to exceed $1,100,000 for the redevelopment of 12 units of affordable multifamily housing with Quest Community Development Organization for the properties located at 694 and 700 Delvini Street, Northwest Atlanta, Georgia 30318, and for contracted work shall be charged to and paid from the account listed herein and for other purposes.
Item will be referred to Community Development and Human Services Committee.
AMS ID 38104, an ordinance by Councilmember Byron D. Amos authorizing the mayor or his designee to waive the competitive procurement source selection provisions contained in Section 2-1187 of Article 10, Procurement and Real Estate Code of the City of Atlanta, an ordinance as well as other conflicting code provisions to execute Amendment 1 and to add funds to cover services rendered in fiscal year 25, increase funds for fiscal year 26, and correct the renewal options for special procurement SPS 1230114 airfield marking and rubber removal on-call constructor service with Highlight CBI joint venture on behalf of the Department of Aviation in an amount not to exceed $33 million and for other purposes.
That item will be referred to the Transportation Committee.
Thanks, sir.
That completes our personal papers, unless there are any further items. All right, any general remarks by council members? Any general remarks? Councilmember Dozier.
Thank you, colleagues. I just wanted to let the public know, with all the uncertainty happening in Washington right now, especially for our seniors who are rely on Social Security and other federal programs to make ends meet. Our office is partnering with the Magnolia Club and Stimulate America for a jobs, housing, and resources fair right here at the City Hall atrium. That'll be on Thursday, June the 12th, from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. That event will be a one-stop hub for attendees age 60 and older to learn about open job opportunities, affordable housing, and to apply for programs like SNAP, Medicaid, veterans benefits, energy efficiency, and more. And so we encourage you to let your seniors know that next Thursday will be the place to be for Atlantans 60 and older. Thank you.
Councilmember Amos.
Yes, sir. Very quickly, we don't meet before this happened. On Friday the 13th, just want to remind everyone that Municipal Court is having an open house transforming housing and code enforcement court to better serve Atlanteans. All of us have concerns about code enforcement, but this is June 13th. June 13th at 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. at the Municipal Court, 150 Garnett Street. And then, of course, always work anniversaries. Got a good little list here. Monique Washington, 19 years. Lauren Knuckles, 1 year. Phyllis Jackson, 9 years. Irshad Rampart, 1 year. Catherine Howard, 25 years. Corona Craddock, 28 years. Madison Jones, 3 years. Arnold Scott, 15 years. David Johnson, 11. And Jared Evans, 6. Happy anniversary, everyone.
Councilmember Boone.
Yes, I would like to thank our entire team, led by Ms. Santana Kempson Wright, for a tremendous job during this entire process. Let's give them a hand. Our clerk, Ms. Corrine Lindo, and her entire team. All so much, Mr. Zena Lewis, and to our President Pro Tem, who has run a flawless meeting. We're leaving out of here at 4 o'clock. Thank you, President Pro Tem Dustin Hillis. Thank you.
Watch out, Councilmember Bond hasn't spoken yet. Councilmember Bond.
Thank you, Mr. President Pro Tem. I just wanted to announce that this month's ATL Fresh and Free drive-through food distribution will be at the St. Peter Missionary Baptist Church, June the 4th. We will start promptly at 2 p.m. and that's St. Peter Missionary Baptist Church this Wednesday, June the 4th at 2 p.m. at 1558 Venetian Drive Southwest.
Any other general remarks, colleagues? I will say thank you all for working with me. It's the first entire council meeting I presided over as pro tem, so thank you all. And Madam Clerk, will you please call the adjourning roll call?
Thank you, Mr. President Pro Tem. We have Councilmember Matt Westmoreland, Post 2 at Large. Councilmember Ishay Collins, Post 3 at Large.
Here.
Councilmember Jason H. Winston, District 1.
Here.
Councilmember Aria Faroki, District 2. Councilmember Byron D. Amos, District 3. Councilmember Jason Dozier, District 4. Liliana Bakhtiari, District 5. Councilmember Alex Wan, District 6. Councilmember Howard Shook, District 7. Councilmember Mary Norwood, District 8. Council President Pro Tem Dustin Hillis.
Present.
Councilmember Andrew L. Boone, District 10. Councilmember Marcy Kohler Overstreet, District 11. Councilmember Antonia Lewis, District 12.
Right, if there is no further business, this meeting is adjourned.